What's going on, fight fans? It's your boy Blood Boxing. I'm back at you with another episode of OG Boxing Talk. We're coming from out the LDBC. I have with me here Fernando Don, the singing OG, KQKC, the historian himself, Kurt Anderson Sugar, and we got Trap House Boxing, that country boy, he here with us too. We about to get it started like MC Hammer in 1989. That was Fernand's favorite rapper. So, we got bars up in here, man. How everybody doing? Hold on. Let me pull up the chat here. And we're gonna get some intros going here. Hold on, let me make sure. Oh, I see we here right here. Let's see who up in here. Okay. We got Mahari Sports Nation up in here. What's up, TZ Frank? What's up, Bert J. Dixon up in here? Reggie the Tree, Carver Williams, Miss Boxing. What's up, baby? Boxing your brains out. I never seen you before, but hey, man, welcome to OG Boxing Talk. Wool Bag. We got CJ, DB up in here. Dimitri Cohen in here, man. So, people are starting to gather in, man. So while people are gathering in, we're going to go ahead. Oh, we got a super chat. We got Justin March. Hey, appreciate that, man. Stormy B, man. What's up, Stormy? How you doing, brother? Another old school brother, Stormy B, man. DB, Richard. Okay, let's get this. Let's get some intros going, man. Let's start out with KQKC. What's up, man? Let people know where they can find you. Tell us a little bit about your page while people are gathering in, man. KQ, where you at, brother?
Yes, sir. Right here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. This is KQKC Boxing. You can find me right here on YouTube. You need to get in contact with me. You can find me at Marion Hanson at Comcast.net. And that's my email. And you can also find me on Twitter. MH_liberal. And there you go.
Y'all heard from the singing OG himself, man.
Yes, sir.
Doing his thing.
Yes, sir.
Let's see who else is up in here. We got the historian, Kurt Anderson. Sugar is in the building, y'all. What's going on, Big Kurt, man? How you doing, big bro?
What's going on, everybody? What's up, chat? My name is Curtis Anderson. I'm from Newark, New Jersey, aka Brick City is a major fight town. My nickname is Kurt Sugar or Sugar, whatever you want to call me. You can find me on Blue Blood Live TV Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is a great show, call-in show. We have special guests, and obviously you can find me on Phenom Boxing, OG Boxing Talk with my brothers. I'm just here to talk boxing. I'm an expert in knowing the history of boxing. I've been watching boxing for 45 years, 2 years in Total, New Jersey from Lenny Shaw. I just love the sport, man. It's just about a community, my brothers and sisters, and talking about the wonderful world of boxing.
Hey, Kurt, let me ask you something real quick, man. Around what years was you participating in the sport? Take me back. What year? Identify a year for me.
Well, Lenny Shaw, Lou Duva had a lot to do with Lenny Shaw. It was a small town outside of Paterson, New Jersey, called Total, New Jersey. I used to work on the shipping docks 3 blocks away from the gym. And my father knew a coach named Robert Johnson, and I started training. This is between 86 and 89, 2.5 years, basically. But I started playing football, and I attended Norfolk State in Virginia around about 85. I'm going back a little bit. I messed with it, but I was a really good football player. But that was one of my regrets, not following boxing. In those days, they had the boxing mobile. It was a big RV truck that used to go to every football and baseball field, pick up kids, recruit kids. That's how boxing, that's how serious it was. You can go inside the truck and hit the bag. They had a makeshift ring. It was really nice, man. That's how boxing was when I was coming up in the 80s in New Jersey.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, man, that's very interesting, man. We're going to get to know these OGs a little bit, man. I'm going to be asking the OGs a few things from time to time. We got Fernando Don in the house, man. Y'all know him. Fernando, what's up, man? How you doing, my brother? Let people know where they can find you. I mean, we're on your page, but let people know what's up, bro.
Oh man, you can find me here and on Twitter at Fanon Boxing, whatever the hashtag is, hashtag Fanon Boxing. I'm out there trolling, full-time trolling boxing journalists out there on Twitter. So I hope you would follow me on Twitter so that I can get my numbers up. And I was thinking that I should do what some of these YouTube clowns do, go buy me some Twitter followers, dog, so I can harass you with 300,000 fake Twitter followers. Do like Anthony Joshua. But I ain't gonna do that. But you can just find me right here. That's it. What's good, Junior the Truth? Oh, and by the way, this is because we have a rookie moderator out here. This is our 6-month anniversary of OG Boxing Talk. So I want to say thank you guys so much for coming every Sunday for the last 6 months to the live stream. Me and Blood Boxing talked about doing the show in KQKC Boxing. Man, I feel real blessed that we actually have Blood Boxing, on my show, because he was somebody that I really I love this show, and he's one of the main reasons, probably the number one reason I got a YouTube channel. So having him on this show with me for the last 6 months has really been, man, it's been absolutely great.
Man, I can't believe we made 6 months, Fanon. Where's KQKC? Did he fall off or something?
I got to put him back in. I didn't see him. Yeah, he's.
Hey, I'm here. Yes, sir.
Okay, Fanon, you still got the control over the panel and you can do the backdrop and all of that stuff, the mute. You got that mute weapon. Let me see that mute weapon again, Fanon. Let me see that.
What mute weapon? What mute?
Talk about your mouse.
Let me see that mouse, man.
No, I mean, I'm sorry, man. I don't know how to do that.
Last week you was bragging. You was showing us the mouse. Do it again, bro. Show me the mouse.
What? I can't hear you, Blood. What?
Show me the mouse. Let me see the mouse.
You went out for a second. That was your connection out there in them fucking sticks.
Let me see
you out there in them sticks, dog. Here it is.
Y'all know. Hey, look at Fanon. Fanon, y'all see Fanon got a wire on the fucking mouse, y'all. Who the fuck? Fanon been getting on my ass about getting the mic, and he got the old wire on the mic. I mean, you can get a wireless mic, man, for like $5, Fanon. You an old school ass motherfucker. Nobody still got the wire mic, man. I mean, it's $5 just to get you a regular mouse, man. What you can't spend $5, bro?
Excuse me. I have a state-of-the-art gaming system that I bought for like that should have cost me $5,000 that I got for $1,100. I ain't complaining about they fucking mic.
No, still got a flip phone, y'all. His favorite artist in the 1980s was Gregory Abbott and Jermaine Jackson. He really loved him some Jermaine Jackson. He called me the other day, and I heard some Rockwell.
Are you serious? Let's get serious.
Yo, Fanon still got that 1989 troop suit, y'all. He still He was wearing that the other day.
You telling me you don't like Jermaine Jackson?
Man, he all right though. I gotta admit.
Come on, man. Why you hating on the black man?
What you gotta do to me. I like that song. That's about it.
We know you out here singing to Alexander O'Neal and it's like that.
we got him piling in. We got him. Fanon, get us, man. We got a few super chats came in, I believe.
I think just
Stay Ready Boxing. Stay Ready.
Oh yeah, Stay Ready Boxing. Just in March. It's much love in that super chat, and I got Stay Ready Boxing up here. So salute my brothers OG, Kurt Sugar, Fanon the Don, KQKC. Salute to you guys. You who is the new guy? Fanon, if you don't get a Bluetooth mouse, I ain't getting no Bluetooth mouse. What? This shit works. See, y'all young bucks want to buy shit for no good reason. You know what I mean?
I got a wireless mouse.
Yeah, and you also gonna have testicular cancer, letting all that shit flying around you for no fucking reason. Let's just stay the fuck up off my mic, man.
Hey, Trey,
my city art,
bro.
Oh, you niggas is actually talking into your cell phones. Talk about my technology.
Hey, man. Hey, I sound beautiful too, brother.
You ain't even got no fucking phone on. Put your camera on. Complain about my mic.
Hey man,
about the camera.
I sound beautiful, man. You know, and if I put the camera on, I might take all your girlfriends, man. You know, because I'm so handsome.
I only got one, and she locked in the closet.
By the camera, man, because she might be calling me, going in your phone to sneak my number. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. So, you know, I'm just trying to take it easy on y'all, man. You know, I'm trying to make y'all look good. You know what I'm saying? Drew Titan ain't here, so remember, and Trap House ain't answering. So I'm the youngest guy, so I'm looking good out in these streets. All right, remember that. Fanon the Don talking a lot of smack on here.
I would like to say though, when you do put your picture up, be honest and get you and your cousin Keith Thurman on your motherfucking thing, just like you know you used to have a picture with you and your cousin Keith Thurman from South Florida, buddy. You and Trap House, big ass Keith Thurman fans that went into the closet.
Let me ask y'all something before we go, man. We got about 160 in. Hey, come on, man. Y'all smash the motherfucking like button, man. 160 up in here. We're going to have some more coming. But before we start with the boxing discussion, because we got a lot of shit to cover today, let me ask you something, Fanon. Back in the night, let's take it back 30 years. We're getting ready to end 2019. We're going to get into the 2020s here within a couple of months. Let's take it back 30 years, Fanon. Let me know something, Fanon. I want to know something. 30 years ago, you was already a grown-ass nigga, right? You had already left. You was probably in college, 1989. Let's take it back to
30 years ago, I was a boy. Thank you very much.
In 89, you was a boy?
Still a boy. Okay, still a boy.
Okay.
Any of you Negroes under 22 years old are boys. Okay? I was same age as Devin Haney. A young man.
Okay, Fanon, did you have a Jerry curl?
Never.
I don't know which OGs I'm talking to, who I'm talking to. Did you have a Jerry curl?
No.
Anytime in the 80s. Did you have a Jerry curl anytime in the 80s?
Never.
Okay, I don't believe that, but Kurt Anderson Sugar, did you ever have a Jerry curl in the 1980s?
I didn't have the Jerry curl. I had the S curl with the fade. I thought I was Cool G Rap. I tried to emulate him.
So I know what you was made. Kurt, what kind of car you was rocking in 89, bro? What you driving?
I had a Z28, a rust-colored Z28. I got it from this guy named Malcolm Connor. He was a big car dealer, you know, messing with the players and all that. He used to give them deals. So I had a Z28.
I can see you.
Yeah, I was always into muscle cars, like sports cars, Corvettes, Z28s, IROCs, stuff like that back in the 80s.
Yeah, I bet you was smooth, Kurt. I mean, yeah, KQKC. Come on,
Yes,
man. Tell me,
yes,
what you was driving in 89, bro?
Chevy, man. Box car Chevy, baby.
Yeah.
Yes,
you had that waxed up too, didn't you?
yes, sir. I was washing it every day. Because, see, I graduated out of high school in 85. Yeah.
You did what? You graduated high school 85?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I was 18. I was 18.
You was rocking the Jerry curl. What you was rocking back then? A curl?
Yes, sir. I was rocking the curl big time. It was called Curly Kid.
Oh yeah, I remember Curly Kid. Okay, Trap House, you there yet? Because we ready to get into this shit, bro.
You don't want to know what I was pushing, huh?
Yeah, bro.
You don't give me my chance.
What you was pushing?
You don't give me my chance, huh?
I want to know what you was pushing.
Which car you want to know? Which car you want to know about? I got to pick one.
No, hey, tell me what you was rocking in 89, 30 years ago.
Which car? You would like to know all of them, or would you just like me to pick the?
No, if you have more than one car, that's interesting because that gives me some more information on another OG. If you have more than one car, that's very interesting in 1989.
I had two cars. I had two Hondas. I had a little blue Civic, and I had a gold Honda Accord with the moon roof. They used to kick. I was shot, and I told you I was pimping in 89. I was pimping.
Hey, now, what you used to play for the women when you had them in the car? I know you was a player. What you was playing? What you had in the system, man?
What I have in 89, I listened to house music. So I was Frankie Knuckles. She was Frankie Knuckles. Boop. Frankie Knuckles. Frankie man, I ain't listen to hip hop. I listen to house music.
So you didn't have a hooked up car? You had no Dayton's or nothing like that? Did you have Dayton's on that Honda?
Hell no, I had everything just factory, dog. I rock like with Audis and shit like that. I like to look like I have to go drive and not get pulled over in certain fucking neighborhoods. So no, If I had any tents, any type of that shit, they harassed and pull me the fuck over. So nah, I wouldn't fuck around.
Kurt, your car, did you have your car hooked up, Kurt?
Nah, man, it was already well, back in that day, 89, they had Pirelli tires, but I didn't need it because you know I like the sports car, so it already came with rims. I put a system in there. At that time, the system of choice was Pioneer sound system. You know, you used to go to a custom made alarm or a sound system, you know, and they install it, and you know, because I was rocking house music. We had a club called the Cheetah Club and Club 88. And the guy that was on Good Times, John Amos, the father, he's from my way. He had a club called the Peppermint Lounge. So I used to hang out there. And I listened to a lot of hip hop too, because that's when hip hop was real, you know, back in the, you know, the 80s and late 80s, 88, 89. Big Daddy Kane and Rakim and Public Enemy. I can go on and on. LL Cool J. So I listened to a lot of music. And at night, I listened to The Quiet Storm. When you had a girl in your car, you turned to The Quiet Storm on WBLS or 98.7 KISS.
Nice, man. Hey, KQKC.
Yes,
Before
sir.
we get to the boxing discussion, man, what you had up in that system, man? What you had up in that system?
Well, I was shaking my head. I had a Pioneer, man. I had woofers up in there, man. What was going on? I had my seat. I had my seat leaning. I had my seat leaning back.
And y'all had that crown in the front of your window. You remember the crown that we used to have? The
Right. The crown.
That was
on the
Crown
trunk.
royal bag or the crown?
No,
Y'all
you talking
had
about the instant.
yeah, the windshield. You had the crown, bro. I know that's how we did it down here in the dirty South. You know.
No, they was everywhere. You know, they used to say them things with bad luck, man.
Oh, what's up, Trap? How you doing, man? You remember them crowns?
Yeah, them and them. You remember they used to have them rabbit foot. Everybody used to have them rabbit foot keychains. Everybody talking about it was bad luck.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
But you ain't never get to my 80s saga.
Trap, tell me something. What you was riding in '89? This is gonna be funny because for me it was a mongoose in 1989. Because I didn't get the
first of all, I was riding a Deodore, British Knights, Elises, kangaroo shoes, all that's what I was riding in the 80s. Cowboy boots, all that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was riding with gold on at 8 years old.
Yeah, cowboy boots.
Yeah, at 8 years old, snakeskin cowboy boots.
Man, you's a country boy. For now, get the super chats, my brother.
All right, man. Whose tube is this? Mine. You better have T-Rex to quote at the end of this, dog. Shout out to the Don, OG Blood, KQKC, Curtis Anderson, Trap House, and the LBC from Roll Tide Country. Congrats on the 6 months, man. Bet that bomb squad man down. Devin, Black, Jesus, Haney. Yes, sir, man. Much love for that support, man. And I'm really trying to tell you, man, I'm really happy that you came back to the channel. Whose tube is this? Mine. I was worried for a second. And my man, Gravy Davis, back in '89, all I did was rest, dress, play with them hoes, and slam Cadillac doors. Hey, but you know what though? I was faking. I forgot I was doing something in the late 1980s, dude. I was faking too. Dog, I was fake. I was fronting, dog, because my brother had this. Man, my brother had them Vipers. The first time them Vipers came out, dude, my brother got a Viper.
Man. I remember those.
I was rocking them. I was rocking downtown Chicago, driving a Viper downtown Chicago, man. You couldn't tell me shit. I couldn't afford the gas in that bitch, but I was motherfucking lying my ass off. Jay Cooley said, "Oh geez, I bet all you was bumping Roger and Zap." Hell yeah, Roger and Zap was the shit. What's wrong with bumping Roger? There you go.
We got any more super chats?
I got to catch up with my screen. I'll go check. If I didn't get them right there, we'll get. Jay Cooley said, "Oh geez, I bet." Okay, yeah, that was it. Okay, I got my man. Oh, and Jay Cooley, by the way, before was saying I've been pimping since pimping. Pimping. You know how it rolls. Yeah, I think we caught up.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
fellas. So to get back to my hairstyle, though, I had the I had the famous Hollywood shuffle, man. You know, don't stop, just do the Jerry curl.
I know you had that girl, bro. I know you had that girl.
I had the S curl too. I had the S curl too. I had all that. I had every style you can pretty much name, bro.
What
in
you
the
was
80s.
bumping? You was bumping that Magic Mike and the Jam Pony Express, bro?
Yeah, I was just bumping a little bit, but I was really bumping that Big Daddy Kane and you know, some of that Whitney Houston and Kool Moe Dee and all that. I was bumping a lot of that, man. LL, you know, stuff like that back in the day. And Guy, you know, Guy was like one of my favorites back in the 80s, man. So I was a huge Guy fan, especially when I Like came out. That's still one of my favorite songs of the day.
Yeah, me too. I like Guy. Yeah.
Yeah, they did have some. That's some great shit, man. That's remind me of '91, man. I used to get to all them little ladies and ride them around in my Buick 1987 Park Avenue, which was my first car. But that didn't come till the 1990s, man. Some of these brothers, just a few years of difference. It's amazing how much a few years different will make, man. Sometimes, you know. So I had to enjoy driving in the early '90s. Okay. Anybody else got anything to say before we get into this boxing talk? Because we got some shit to talk about today, man.
Yes, I would like to say I never had a Jerry curl, unlike y'all Negroes. Thank you. I had black pride. I had black pride from the beginning.
It's all good. Hey, guess what? I used to be running that ball with that Jerry curl too, dripping. You heard me? Pop Warner, run the hell out that football with that Jerry curl dripping.
That's right. With that greasy ass helmet. I remember how them greasy ass. I know Kurt played football too. I know them helmets was greasy as shit with that damn S curl. Talking about
Can I ask y'all a question though about them Jerry curls? Remember in the 1985 to 87, you know, like we are, you know, what the hell is the name of that group? That had the
Ready for the World.
Ready for the World.
Oh
man,
shit.
do you remember any of your friends that used to pull all the girls with Jerry curls, and when that shit went out of style, they was gone. Them motherfuckers couldn't catch it.
Yeah, you remember them Stoney Jackson niggas.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. Anybody that played football in the 80s that had a Jerry curl, it was hell when that sweat started getting in your eye from that Jerry curl. Hell. Hell.
Okay, man, we're gonna get into this boxing talk because we're gonna have to move through this. Y'all know we got a big agenda now. Okay, so we're gonna start it out. You know what? I want to ask you guys. No, let's start it out with Nonito Donaire versus how y'all say that? Inouye, Monster Inouye. Okay, we're gonna start out with that because that fight happened first throughout the week. Okay. It came on at a weird time. I don't know who the fuck woke up to watch that fight. I know Trap House Boxing did, but
I did.
I'm gonna wake my ass up at no damn AM hours to watch this fight. But shit, I ended up catching up and I did see the fight. I gotta say, man, it was a damn good fight, man. Though we complain week after week, rightfully so. You know, we have the right to complain as boxing fans. Sometimes we're not getting the fights we really want. The classic fights have come from the tournament structure. You guys see how the tournament structure works, okay? Every now and then, we'll get a classic that does not come from a tournament structure, such as a unification bout. Let's not forget Spence versus Porter. That wasn't from a tournament structure, but the tournament structure has demonstrated time and time again that we do get classic fights. We had Taylor versus Prograis, okay? That was a very good fight. That came from the World Boxing Super Series, okay? Now we get Inouye versus Donaire, okay? This fight was a fucking classic, bro. I have to say it. You know, it's a
question here.
Fight. It was a great fight, banging ass fight. I want to know what you guys think about this fight. Let's start. We're going to mix the sequence up from question to question.
Okay.
We're going to actually have Fanon open up on this one. Go ahead, Fanon. Tell us about.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your diatribe in the form of a fucking question, or was it a question in the form of diatribe?
Hold on, man. Now, see, I don't know. You get your chance to moderate next week. You moderate how you moderate, but I'm gonna do my shit the way blood is going down. The blood,
and I'm gonna heckle the way I'm gonna heckle. Okay, I'm gonna heckle.
It's going down. Or you lucky I don't got that damn mute button. Now go ahead and answer that question about Inouye versus Donaire.
Slop fade. With the half moon part, my man Snacks B. Let me get that in there before I forget much love in that super chat. All right, man. I think that first of all, dude, I knew that I love as far as the tournament structure goes, I love it. I think the World Boxing Super Series is the best thing to happen to boxing in the last couple of years. You've gotten a bunch of really good fights out of that because it puts people in situations where they can't match make their way into looking good. You know what I mean? You have in the tournament structure the 140 pound division. We got the pro grade Josh Taylor. We got pro grade Baranek. We got all those fights. Even though I'm like, because pro grade is my guy. But he would have never had the chance to get all of those fights if it wasn't for a tournament. If it wasn't for a tournament structure. If it wasn't for a tournament structure, it forced people to fight him. I think the tournament structure is wonderful. Even the cruiserweight thing, man. I think that was a wonderful situation. The bad thing is that you don't get the top level fighters. Well, you saw in those in between divisions like 140, cruiserweight, flyweight, shit that don't nobody really care about. You get them in the money divisions like middleweight, heavyweight, welterweight, even lightweight. You don't get them wherever you have a big promoter that wants to kind of guide and match make people to success. So I love the tournament structure, and that's the only reason that I kept. That's the only reason that I kept my DAZN subscription is because when they boxing Super Series, I was like, okay, cool, I can do this. I think that for my money, DAZN was worth it for the World Boxing Super Series because I did get up and watch that Inouye fight. As far as Inouye himself, he's overrated. That's not saying that he's a bad guy, that he's a bad kid, that he's a bad fighter. I think he's a very, very good fighter, a very talented fighter. But I struggled all week to figure he looks like somebody to me. Like, who is it that was killing me all week? Who does this dude remind me of? Who does he remind me of? And it came to me, Zab Judah. He reminds me of Zab Judah. He's a southpaw with fast hands, good power, a chin that sticks straight up in the fucking air, and eventually this dude is going to get beat by a upper level skilled fighter. I think that Nasser Inouye I think he's a very talented fighter, but his chin and even Steve Kim. Now, I know Steve Kim listened to me now. I know his ass listened to me now because he came out on Twitter and was like, yeah, Monster, he needs to check his chin level and his head level. You didn't see that shit in the fights before? Nasser Inouye it was a good fight, but if this guy was really a pound for pound top fighter, he shouldn't have fights like that with a Nonito Donaire. There's nobody else that is up in the top 10 pound for pound that is going to have a fight like that with the equivalent of a Nonito Donaire. Nonito Donaire hasn't fought in that weight class in almost 10 years. His peak was 9 years ago, almost a full decade ago. Mm-hmm. I thought he looked shot because of the speed of his punches. If you remember, his nickname was the Filipino Flash. He had fast hands. Those fast hands are gone. And I can't say no top 10 pound for pound fighter fighting a guy that far over should walk out of it with a broken orbital bone, a gash over his eye, a broken orbital bone, and a broken nose. And that's all because his chin is standing up in the air. So I think Inouye is a good fighter, but they had him in the top 10 pound for pound for the last 2 years. I think that showed that he didn't belong there. He doesn't belong there. But the tournament structure itself is what led to that because they could not match make Monster Inouye past Donaire. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's my thoughts on it.
Okay. Did you say that Inouye fought in the southpaw stance? He's an orthodox fighter, man.
That was southpaw on southpaw, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
No, it was orthodox, man.
Orthodox, bro.
Okay. Yeah, my mistake. My mistake. Yeah, but still same thing. Zab Judah.
Okay.
Reminds me of Zab Judah. Somebody that has fast hands, overly looping punches, and who fights with his chin in the air and is eventually going to get clocked by somebody with a straight right hand, and he ain't going to get out of it. Because that's exactly what Inouye did. Apologies for the southpaw thing.
Problem, man. I'll keep you in line for now, and it's not a big problem, bro.
Yeah, no worries. But watch what he did. This is what Inouye did. If in Teddy and what's that dude's name? Uncle Timmy. Uncle Timmy was saying this in last week's fight card. He said, "Look how this guy go straight out." And when a guy goes straight out, which means back straight up, you just follow him out with punches. And that's exactly what Donaire did to him. As soon as he threw 2 shots, he backed straight out. He just followed him right back out. I mean, that's just textbook stuff. And you can't tell me somebody that is a pound for pound number 4 fighter in the world would walk away, would be doing that. But they're so desperate to get into this Japanese market and to have somebody that they can, the next guy that they can sell, you know, it's just, you know,
There's definitely.
But thank you for the correction, Blood, because I promise you, I shall be catching one on you. Don't think you're getting out of here without it.
Yeah, whatever, man. Where's that mute button at? Can you mute yourself for now? Let's go here. Let's see what KQKC got to say about it. The singing OG. What you think?
Hey, hold on. I muted myself. See, would you like me to mute myself?
For now, cut it out. Take me off mute right now, man.
We can hear you.
Cut it out.
Mute not on mute.
And let KQKC give his point.
You're not on mute.
Okay, KQKC, give your
yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. Okay, you're right. Fanon is right. Endo, whatever. He squares
N-O-A. This the letter. N-O-A. Inouye. Just say N-O-A.
Okay, Inouye.
The way you could get it, KQKC, is like if you say, man, I'm gonna be in your ass. I'm gonna be in your way. I'm gonna be in your way, nigga. I'm gonna in your way, nigga.
Okay. All right. In your way, he squares up too much. And he's right. He's gonna get clocked if he keep doing that. Now, Deontay Wilder used to make that same mistake when he fought Spilker. You know, Mark Brilliant had to tell him, you do not go straight back in a line. You go side to side. That's how you do it. Because you go straight back, you're going to get counted, and they're going to keep on popping the head back. So, I mean, you fight and you learn. But he is not a top 4 fighter. So, when you come in like that, and then Donaire, he did look slower than he did 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But I understand they're trying to, get that next Manny Pacquiao, Philippines, or Japan. I got up and I called that fight, and it was a good fight. I have to admit that fight was off the hook, and they was going at it. But he is overhyped, and I think he knows it. I know he's overmatched, and they have weight classes for a reason, and this is one of those reasons. And and it was nice of him to give the belt to Donaire to take home to his son. That was cool, because he promised his son to bring home the belt. But still, overall, always the little weight classes like flyweights, bantamweights, they always seem to be Oriental. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. But I don't think we're going to find a next star at flyweight or bantamweight. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen.
KQ.
So, yes, sir.
You basically just called them some niggas. You don't say Oriental. It's Asian. So we got to stay politically correct here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Now not to cut you off and you do your thing. Okay.
Hey, look. I didn't mean nothing by it. Okay, just say a different race, whatever. Y'all feel what I'm saying, but I understand what he's saying. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. And normally, like I said, they are non of a different persuasion. I guess I say that. But overall, it was a good fight, and I don't have too much more to say. But I just want to put him at the top for pound for pound. I just wouldn't. So that's all I have.
Okay, before we get to the next one, we got Trill Boxing Talk. That's the brother Black Fight Fan TV is in the building. I saw 78 Sports TV in here, so the Trill Boxing Talk panel is up in the house too, man. So we're honored to have y'all brothers here, man. Y'all make sure y'all tune in to Trill Boxing Talk, man. That's where OG Boxing Talk comes from. We come from Trill Boxing Talk. It's kind of sprouted off, So we got the weekend held down, but Trill Boxing Talk, that's Black Fight Fan and 78 who was talking about Pornhub and all that shit the other day. I heard y'all. Yes, sir. Great discussion, man. I had to relieve myself and go to the bathroom, okay? So, bringing back some great memories on that show. Now, we're going to go back. I think we lost Trap House Boxing. Trap House, hopefully you'll come back because I want to hear what you have to say about Inouye. I know you out there in the woods of Sanford, your country ass out there, lost the signal. Kurt Anderson, Sugar, the historian, is up in here, man. Kurt Anderson, man.
Nah, Trap's here.
Okay, we'll get Trap last. I know Trap really watched this fight because he watched it that morning. He texted me at 6:50 in the morning when I was fucking sleeping, talking about the fight being a banger. But before we get to Trap, we're going to go to the historian himself, Kurt Anderson, Sugar. What's up, Kurt? Tell me what you think about Donaire versus Inouye, man.
Well, when this fight was first made, you know, the first person I told you looking at a fight of the year candidate was Scrapbook. You know, I was telling him behind the scenes how this was going to be a great fight, and it didn't disappoint. You know, he caught Donaire at the tail end of his career. Donaire was very game. He had his moments. I first looked at Inouye, you know, the first 7 or 8 fights of his career. I said, this guy's pretty good. The last time I see a fighter from Japan this good was fighting Harada, you know, going back. You know, Inouye has a lot of power. He has a great left hook, but his defense is very poor. You know, and Donaire was touching him, you know, bloody in his nose, you know, put a gash over his eye, like Fanon said, you know, broken bones and all that. You know, Donaire couldn't miss with the right hand. It was a great fight. When you have a fight that goes back and forth, the ebb and flows, you know, it becomes a war of attrition. You know, it's nothing better in all the sports. You know, and Donaire, you know, had radar on that right hand. You know, he hurt him in the second round with the left hook. That's why he put the gash on his eye, and he started backing Inouye up. Inouye fights pretty good backing up, but not good enough. He's no way the 4th best fighter in the world. He was exposed, but he won. But, you know, I'm a fan because in a classy move, you know, he took the trophy, gave it to Donaire because Donaire promised his sons, you know, he'll bring the trophy home. And he went over there and he bowed, you know, and put his head on his chest. You know, he just thanked Donaire, you know, for a great fight. You know, is a classic. You know, Donaire's going to have problems, though, if he fights Navarrete because of the length of Navarrete, you know, and as he moves up and he fights American fighters, his style is not going to be effective against boxers. You know, don't move up to 126 pounds and start fighting the Shakur Stevensons and the Gary Russell. He's definitely going to get exposed because you know, the styles are different. You know, that style is different. You know, he's fighting slick fighters, but Donaire showed you that how you beat him. You know, I mean, he has to work on his defense. Now, you know, to his credit, Inouye will, you know, he will be a better fighter if he got an American trainer. You know, he signed with Top Rank, so you're going to see him in America a lot more. But, you know, I think he should stay away from Emmanuel Navarrete because of the styles.
Who does this kid remind you of, man? Anybody from throwback that he reminds you of?
It was an Asian fighter, man. They call him the Thai Tyson in the 90s. His name was Kosai Galaxy. He had a twin brother named Kosar Galaxy. They was named after restaurants. And, you know, he fought like Mike Tyson, you know, with a lot of power.
I remember.
Yep. He was a hell of a fighter, man. He was Pacquiao before Pacquiao, but, you know, he reminds me a little bit of him. You know, devastating power, man. You know, I think he lost one fight, you know, in his whole career. You know, great fighter, the Galaxy brothers. But Kosai, he reminds me of Kosai Galaxy.
Yes, sir. Man.
Show off.
Yeah, I know, right? I remember those guys, though.
They're out here showing off. Shit.
Hey, he could bring us somebody from the 80s or 90s or 70s for sure.
Pulled out Kosar Galaxy. God dang. I worked all damn week to get fucking Zab Judah and messed up on the Southpaw, and you pull out fucking Kosar Galaxy.
Hey, you know why I love this show before we go on? Because the show has morphed into entertainment, and we put in boxing and boxing history. That's why the show is great.
Just blew my shit out the water. God dang.
It's all good. It's all Trap House Boxing. He's the youngest member of the panel. What's up, man? Tell us, man. I know you're big into this fight, bro, because you was telling me about it during the build-up, everything. In fact, I watched the shit because of you. Before we get into that, though, Fanon, get the super chats, man. I see a few in here.
All right. I gotta hit the refresh. Man, we appreciate you guys' support. We got Trill. We already said salute to the OGs of the LDB. Thank you, brothers, for all your work. I want to say something about Trill Boxing Talk. Man, will y'all please go to Instagram every morning that they do a show and put that shit up on Instagram, put it up on Twitter. Make sure. What is that shit?
God, dog, who eating, man? Damn.
Oh, that was Trap. Trap must.
God, no, bro.
Look, man, dog, we got to take over this Twitter thing, man. Seriously, man, we got so many people in the LDBC, and none of these guys are like 2 retweets, 3 tweets. Dog, we need to gang up on this boxing media and putting Trill Boxing Talk in Twitter feeds and just having that shit go, dude. Man, they got to hear the truth. They got to hear the Texas Real or the Trill, whatever the fuck Trill means. If it's Trill, it's good. Put that shit in your link. Share Trill Boxing Talk every morning after it's over, because that should be heated. Maybe not the ones about Pornhub. You might want to skip the Pornhub versions. But
man, that shit was fire, bro. What you talking about, man?
It was. I'm just trying to. But other than that, dog, for real, y'all got to share that, man. And then, of course, my man, much love in the. Ooh, where did that go? Time to Annie Up said, as an A-side with someone like Oscar alive in the world, does Morris Day regret the song Fishnet? I respect Canelo's ability, but this hopping around shit needs to stop, dog. Canelo Alvarez, I was a big Canelo Alvarez fan. I think Canelo Alvarez has become an absolute and complete disgrace. And everything that's being done for him is disgraceful. But we'll talk about that. And then my man CVP Jr. said, this show is always fire, fire, fire. We are caught up.
Okay, we appreciate that, man. We want to get y'all to smash the like button. To answer Time to Ante Up, Morris Day doesn't regret it because Morris Day was a freak-ass motherfucker with a perm in his head. Okay? The nigga was one of the freaky niggas from back in the day. You know, Morris Day done had very many Super 8 Motel 6 nights. Trust me, I could look at the nigga and tell, all right? Anyways, Trap House Boxing, let's get to it, bro. Tell us about that fight, bro.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you about all the hating I heard Fanon doing over the weekend on the monster. No, I'm just fucking with you, Fanon, but I'm gonna get to you later on that. Yeah, I'm gonna get to you.
Hating, man. Get into that hating. You don't hear me about this shit.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna give Inouye his credit first. You know, it was a good fight. Like I said, follow the whole World Boxing Super Series. To me, in my opinion, I thought that Inouye I thought he did good, you know, compared to, you know, fighting a bigger guy, you know, and Fanon's squad, Donaire just all faded out. Man, that dude got plenty of fights left in him, man. You know that dude got about 3-4 fights left. But
that dude is 80 years old, dog.
No, come on, don't start that, Fanon, man. Don't start that, dog. Don't do that. Fanon, don't do that, man. But anyway, so no, but I thought, like, as far as the overhype thing, I don't think he overhyped, bro. I don't think he know how to go. I think he is a good fighter. As far as the real deal, I don't know yet, but I did see a lot of elements to his game as far as like making a little bit of adjustment. You know, saying what I've seen Thursday morning is the questions, some of the questions that I be wanting to see in a fighter, like as far as being battle tested, showing vulnerabilities, adjustments made. That's what I want to see. That's why it's kind of hard for me to like follow up with a lot of these guys, like Tank and all these guys who ain't fighting nobody, who ain't putting them in the trenches. Cause I got to see what you're working with. I got to see how you deal with cuts, all that. And I seen that Thursday pretty much. I seen a lot of that Thursday, and I thought that Inouye did a good job of fighting through, you know, adversity. It was an uphill battle for him, even though I had him jumping out early in the rounds. But Donaire started walking slowly but surely, changing the fight around. Yeah, he was getting hit with a lot of right hands and all that, but hey, man, there's a lot of guys that Pacquiao get hit with right hands repeatedly. He at the top of the list. You want to talk about guys backing straight up on the line? We got guys at the top top right now, who everybody loves so much, back up in the straight line every time you throw punches at him.
What top fighter is walked out of the ring with a 36-year-old dude with a broken orbital bone, a broken nose?
We ain't talking about broken orbital. We talking about defense right now. We talking about defense.
That's what I'm talking about. Broken nose, broken orbital bone, gashed eye.
Yeah, but I ain't say none of those guys had walked out of the ring with that. I'm talking about their flaws. That's what I'm talking about. Let's stay on the argument now, Fanon. I know you're a lawyer. And I am muting myself. Hey, look. Hey, Fanon, look. I was a career criminal, so that lawyer changing the subject shit don't work with me. We're gonna stick to the argument. Yeah.
I shall retort. Continue.
All right. But I thought like what really carried Inouye through the fight was a lot of times, even though when you thought some of those rounds was questionable, I thought that jab carried him through. Nonito Donaire was starting to fade out. They both was getting tired, but I thought towards the end, Inouye still had more juice in his tank. But if Nonito Donaire would have been depositing those left hooks to the body, if he'd have stayed true downstairs to Inouye, he probably would have got Inouye up out of there. But on the flip side, you got to understand, Inouye had hurt Nonito Donaire. What was that? He had hurt him in the early rounds, but it was the 11th round.
In the 5th round, he hurt him with a hard right hand.
Yeah, he hurt him with a hard right hand. But that 11th round, you could arguably say he was out of there because the ref jumped right in the way when he hit him with the body shot. Nonito Donaire act like he had to take a time out to think about whether he wanted to be in the ring or not. Because it fucked me. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
He barely made it up, man. Shit. He didn't.
Yeah, worse than Keith Thurman out there. Shit. Keith Thurman ain't took a knee. Keith Thurman, that whole know how to run and survive. But yeah, I thought it was weird how the ref just jumped in the way and kind of saved Nonito because Inouye could have jumped on him and finished him because he had his back turned. You understand what I'm saying? But both guys showed good showmanship, man. It was a good fight. I think that as far as Inouye, he young, man. He only 24 years old. And he ain't fighting those guys who y'all never read. He finna fight the dude who almost knocked his brother out on the co-main event. That's what he fight him, yeah, for the WBC title. You know, because his brother was a WBC champion. A lot of people don't know that. So he's going to avenge his brother's title next. That's who he's gonna fight. But like I said, he young. Do we need a new trainer, American trainer? Probably so. I mean, he pretty good to me though. You know, he all right to me. I like him. I'm not gonna sit there and say he trash and all that, but I know that the kid can fight his ass off.
Yes, sir. Well, man,
you know, report now.
What's that?
But hold on, Fanon. Before you talk about backing up straight in the line, your girl Spence back up in the straight line.
Can I please?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
I waited. I was called a hater. That's what I was called. So and I said that he's overrated. Let me ask you, do you think he is the number 4 best fighter in the world?
Hell no.
Okay, question number 2. Do you think he's the number 7 best fighter in the world?
Look, Fanon, I don't got a pound period, Fanon, so I can't really answer that.
Let me add on, man. I didn't cut you off. I let you say what you said. Now I want to react to the fact that I said he was overrated. I say he's overrated because I don't think he's the top 10 pound for pound fighter, and he's been on the top 10 pound for pound list for Ring Magazine and ESPN for 2 years. He's been on there since 2017. Huh?
Dougie Fisher put him there at Ring. He's the chief editor over there.
I said that he's overrated. He shouldn't be on the top 10 pound for pound because nobody on the pound for pound list would fight a guy like Nonito Donaire and get beat up. He got beat up. Defensive flaws, whatever. He walked out with a broken orbital bone, a broken nose, and a 4-inch gash over his eye, and damn near got stopped by a guy who was in his prime in 2014. Nonito Donaire is 36 years old, dude. I didn't say that. I said he was overrated. I didn't say he was a terrible fighter. I said multiple times I think he's a good fighter. I'm just saying he's been on the pound for pound list for 2 years. And when he stepped up against Nonito Donaire, he got his nose broken, he got an orbital bone fracture, and he got a big ass gash over his eye, and he damn near got knocked out. That's why I said, no, dude, he got the shit beaten out of him. He won the fight, but he ain't about to fight O'Bali, and he's not about to fight Navrati, and he's not about to fight Dog. He's not about to fight none of them. He's about to take his ass to the hospital and let his eye heal and them bones grow back together that got busted up because he went straight back. That's why I said, that's what I said.
I know. You drinking hate now. If you're appreciating the greatness, bro.
Hold on. If you guys don't think that he belongs in the top 10 pound for pound, then you agree with me. He's overrated. Saying he is overrated,
but so most of these celebrity fighters are, bro.
Well, that most is good. Great, called him that too. But I said he's overrated. So if I tell the truth, how am I hating for telling the truth?
Okay.
Hold on.
You ain't got no mic.
Hold on. I can't prove that you hating, but I can prove this. This is what I do know from now, because I study patterns. And I'm gonna tell you what you do know. I know when you got a hit out on, when you got a bounty out on the nigga, you're gonna find, and you'll find a niche, and you'll find every little flaw you can, and you'll drain the bloody coin out of those flaws, and you'll have your audience making them think that they trashed you right along with the rhetoric you putting out there. Now you know that.
So you telling me, Trap, that a broken orbital bone is me making that shit up?
No,
did I make him get his eye? Bro. Did I make that dude get a broken orbital bone and a broken nose? Did I put him on the pound for pound list?
Listen, bro, you very, very intelligent. I just want you to think that just listen to yourself. We talking about one thing. You sitting up here outlining one little thing about an orbital bone. Hold on. How many great fighters you know done broken orbital bones and all that other stuff? And are we? I mean, think about Sugar Ray and all these other guys.
Sugar Ray ain't on the pound for pound top list.
But it don't matter. It don't matter, bro. When you fighting, that stuff happens. It's gonna happen. I mean, come on, bro. Ain't nobody perfect out here, man. He's got an orbital bone for none. That don't mean that he's overrated.
You just said he's overrated.
I didn't know. I said he wasn't no top 4 fighter.
He's overrated.
I don't have a top pound for pound period. I explained that. I don't have one, bro. My pound for pound, nobody's gonna agree with it. If it's up to me, it's only 3 people: Deontay Wilder, Terence Crawford, and Usyk, and that's it. Everybody else, I don't care about.
I heard that shit.
I didn't ask you how you rated him. What I said was, is he overrated? And what I talked about, and what I've been talking about for Monster Inouye for 2 years, this guy has not done enough to be put on a pound for pound list. He's number 1 on Steve Kim's pound for pound list. If that's not overrated, I don't know what overrated is. He's number 4 on ESPN's pound for pound list. That's where he is. If you get that part, then you can't say I'm hating. I'm telling the truth. He's number 4. You can get anybody in this chat.
Hold on.
Finish and I'll be done.
Okay, you guys.
Everybody in this chat can go and look at ESPN's pound for pound list. You can go to World Boxing News pound for pound list. You can go to ESPN pound for pound list. You can go to every major pound for pound list that there is in boxing and see Monster Inouye there.
Oh, okay.
Above number 6. He doesn't deserve to be there. That's how he is rated. If he is rated higher than he should be, then he is overrated by the definition of fucking overrated. So how am I doing lawyer tricks?
I'm gonna move on from this shit for now because we got 78 Sports TV in the super chat. He says,
we'll get back.
Argument with Professor Xavier, aka Fanon. Great show, y'all. Appreciate that to 78 Sports TV, our brother. You'll go on forever. This discussion will go on for another hour, okay? But we're gonna move on. I'm gonna give y'all my part on this fight, and we're gonna move on.
Hold on, man. But if somebody in the chat is going to call somebody else a hater, then that should get addressed. Because the implication is what Trap said was, with all due respect, what Trap House just said was, I be making shit up just to be going after fighters. That's an accusation I think is very unfair.
Okay, you right. Hey, Fanar, you right. Hey, Fanar, look, Fanar, listen to me. Hey, Fanar, listen to me. I clearly stated that I can't prove that you hate, but I said I study a pattern. I said that. Did I not say that? As far as you saying that I did not say that Inouye was overrated, you asked me a question, was he in the top 4? I said I don't have a top. So you can't, I didn't never answer that question, bro. I just said that I don't think that he's a hype job. I don't think that.
You said I have a pattern of hating on fighters.
Oh my God! Oh, come on, Kurt Anderson.
Man, Fanar, me and you gonna pick back up on this on another one. We gonna pick back up on this. But let's go on, bro.
I need to know Kurt Anderson and KQKC still away. God, dog, that shit was a long time. Now, okay, we know that the man is overrated. Okay, I think he's overrated, anyways. Okay. But I'm gonna talk. Let me give you my take real quick on this fight, and then we're gonna move on. Okay, this was a great fight. It's a candidate, in my opinion, for fight of the year. All right, in the first few rounds, you have Donaire. He was moving forward. Inouye, I don't know. I guess it's Inouye because that's what Kurt and Trap said. So Inouye was using lateral movement, fighting off his back foot. These guys was delivering leather, man. Donaire was landing a lot of leather. By the end of round 3, Inouye was bleeding from his mouth and his nose and had a cut, okay? Donaire was starting to swell up. So that's obvious by the way these guys looked at the end of round 3 that they was throwing some leather, okay? Both fighters had quick reflexes. I know Donaire is older, but he still got some quick reflexes. He's still fast. The Filipino Flash still got a little bit left in the tank. Inouye had great timing and would catch Donaire at times with quick hooks while Donaire was stepping in with that jab to the body. You know how Donaire, like both of them was doing it. Inouye's lateral movement was a little bit quicker, though, than Donaire, okay? Both fighters are slick. You see a lot of solid technique being displayed by both fighters. Check hooks, all that good stuff. All of that was in the fight. Inouye had solid footwork. Donaire did at times walk into shots, okay? He hit Inouye with a beautiful right hand, snapping Inouye's head back. He did that several times, okay? And in round 5, Donaire continues to land that right. Like Kurt Anderson Sugar said, he found a home with that right hand. Then Inouye came with a great right hand of his own in round 5, where he hurt Donaire. That's the round that Trap House was talking about. I love this fight. I watched it 2 times, okay? He followed up with some solid wild punches. Like, one thing about Inouye, though, sometimes he throws wild punches, man. Like, he be throwing those hooks and them haymakers. It's not going to go good for him if he moves up to 126 and fights guys like Gary Russell Jr. and stuff. That kind of stuff ain't going to go very good for him, okay? Round 6, Inouye came off that bicycle, especially after that big round 5. He planted his feet. He started landing big right hands of his own, but he wasn't totally dominating the older Donaire. Both fighters continued to bring heat in the second half of the fight. You see the ring generalship by both, pull counters, check hooks. Both of these fighters were hurt on several occasions. The body shot by Inouye towards the end of the fight, I think it was in round 11, was a thing of beauty, but Donaire got up like a throwback war is supposed to. The scorecards was a bit wide to me, okay? But it was a damn good fight. I think if you had faced the Donaire from 6 or 7 years ago, or 9 years ago, like Fernando Don said, because I remember Donaire way back then when I first got on YouTube, man, he was a young fighter when he was getting ready to fight Darchinian back in the day. I was so happy when he beat the shit out of Darchinian that first time. But old Donaire is a warrior, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll keep up with Inouye moving forward. It takes more than a recommendation from a media brown noser, fat Chinese guy who's trying to promote Asian fighters for me to take note to a fighter. Very entertaining stuff. Now we're gonna move for now. We got any super chats, bro?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Let me hit this recycle button real quick. Just make sure I don't miss anything. We got my man CB said, great show, always fired. 78 says, Trap House, you know you can't win no argument with Professor Xavier, aka Fanon. Great show, y'all. Dre's Fine says, salute my mighty LDBC family. Can we all get along? Dog, hell no, we can't all get along. Gee, everybody gonna have disagreements, and I like it. I don't mind. I don't have any issue with Keith Thurman, with the Florida Keith Thurman fanboys over here. Trap and 78, Trap and Blood, Clearwater, Florida, ganging up on me. I ain't got no problem. I can handle my own. But we'll be back to it. That's it. On the Super
Okay,
Show.
man. Let's move to the zone card. Now, before we get into Devin Haney, I want all of y'all real quick to give me your assessment on Billy Joe Saunders. Okay, let's start with KQ. You ain't spoken in a while, bro. Let's make sure you on top of this shit, man. I don't want you to go to sleep.
Never going to sleep again, brother. Never. All right. Okay. Now, Billy Joe Saunders. I called that fight, so I pretty much kind of know what's going on with it. Now, check this out. Billy Joe Saunders is not the same Billy Joe Saunders when he was with Frank Warren. He is not. He's a little pudgy around the side a little bit. It looked like he was overlooking not San Diego. He was overlooking course, but he stood in there and he tried to get him out of there with that left, but he couldn't. His timing was off. He was squaring up, and then he was trying to bag him up. Then he was trying to cut off the ring. But the guy was still there. He wasn't going nowhere. And we all know, longer and longer you stay around, more confidence you get. Then he starts showboating. Then the other guy starts showboating also, his opponent, coerced. So he starts showboating also. So Billy Joe Saunders is not the guy he used to be. Now, Dominic Eagle was trying to get him, pushing him. But then finally, with a nice hit behind the head, he got him down in the 11th round. In the 11th round. Now, but that is not the same Billy Joe Saunders. The Billy Joe Saunders that I'm used to seeing is the Billy Joe Saunders that give you a lot of lateral movement, a lot of range generalship, dodging punches, then make them miss, then, of course, make them pay. But that wasn't the same Billy Joe Saunders. And right now, there's no way that he could fight Canelo. Now, Canelo would eat him up. Now, yes, Canelo got slow feet. Billy Joe Saunders' feet might be a little bit faster, but the strength is not there for Billy Joe Saunders. He even couldn't get that smaller man out of there until the 11th round. Now, we know Canelo, what he would do, just like Kovalev. You know, he would probably jump in and try to throw a left or a right hook. And don't get caught because his power will knock you down. Now, that's one thing I can say about Canelo. You know, there's always some funny shit when he fights. All right? L.A. Bird, waiting all day, laying on the couch. It's always some shit. He run up and down weight classes like a greyhound. But still, he got strength. He got plenty of strength. And that's what's the thing about him. He's strong. Now, how he got strong, I don't know. But I tell you this, he cannot, Billy Joe Saunders cannot stand up to Canelo. There's no way. There's no how. Not fighting like that. So, therefore, he might have to pick another opponent because Canelo will eat him up alive. Matter of fact, Canelo might just welcome that fight because he sure don't want to fight his mandatories. So, hey, that's how I look at it.
Hey, KQKC Junior, the truth over here said that he think you having malt liquor and white girl pussy withdrawals. Tell me about that. You having some malt liquor and white girl pussy withdrawals, man?
No. No, man. How you drink malt liquor?
You was fucking with the white girls, man?
No. Oh, no, man. I love my chocolate candy, man. No, sir. I like both my ex-wives was dark. I love dark skinned women. Yes, sir.
That's right. You heard that, Junior, okay? Now, he did fuck with the malt liquor, Junior, but not the white girls, okay? You can't say that on my brother like that now. All right? Now, we're going to get my brother, the historian, Kurt Anderson Sugar, who I hope is still awake because for some reason, Kurt ain't talked for quite some time. Kurt, you still up there, man?
I'm still up, man. Wide arm, bushy tail, man.
Billy Joe Saunders, man.
Well, Billy Joe Saunders has talent, man. I love his footwork, but you know, the way he looked last night, he didn't look as sharp as he did against Lemieux because inactivity. These guys got to fight more. When you know, iron sharpens iron, man. When you in the ring, you know, on a repeated basis, man, you know, that's how you hone your skills and sharpen your skills, man, by staying active. You know, maybe he overlooked the guy, Corses, I believe his name was, one of those cruel Argentinian fighters, man. And
Sergio Martinez. Sorry to cut you off, but did he remind
no, that's
you?
okay. Yeah. I see the similarities. You know, the Argentinos, they produce good fighters, man. Carlos Monzon. But anyway, you know, Billy Joe, you know, he has to fight more. You know, like KQ said, he looked pudgy. He looked pudgy to me. You know, that dude was big, man. People don't realize how big he is, man. He looked like a light heavyweight, but you know, to fight somebody like a Callum Smith or Caleb Plant, you know, or even Canelo Alvarez, he's going to have to do better like he did. He's going to have to look and bring his A game like he did against Lemieux. He looked like a Hall of Fame fighter when he fought Lemieux. You know, his footwork was beautiful. It wasn't that much, you know, it wasn't that good, I should say, last night. I just think he just wasn't up for the fight. You know, he can, you know, perform better. Let me keep an eye on Billy Joe Saunders because he has a style to give a lot of people trouble. He can box. He's not the most exciting guy, you know, but all you have to do is win. And that was a beautiful uppercut he landed, you know, so let's just keep an eye on Billy Joe Saunders. He just has to fight more. If he fights Callum Smith, he did call out Canelo. So I don't know if Canelo is going to fight him, not because he's ducking him, but, you know, it just wasn't big exciting. Canelo don't like a guy who moves around, so maybe he could just keep busy, and let's see what happens. The jury is still out on Billy Joe Saunders.
I'll tell you what, he did better in his American debut than Anthony Joshua did. We're going to go to Fanon the Don, man. And plus, Fanon, you had a super chat that I want you to address from Dre's Finest. Then Billy Joe Saunders.
Okay, actually, there's a couple ones that I want to address.
Yes, sir.
D-Style said, "What's up, OJs?" I'm sure he means OGs or the OJs. D-Style said, "Blood still can't upload a pic. Shake my head." No, he can't.
I know, man.
Grace said, Fanon, hush that fuss. I love LDBC. Let's go. Hey, man, it's called Lion's Den Boxing Community. Lion's Den. And people ain't kissing and hugging in the Lion's Den. Okay, we got different opinions, and I'm going to damn sure share mine. And I don't have any problem with anybody else sharing theirs. Proceed, Blood, with your question.
Okay, yeah, man. It was Billy Joe Saunders, man. We want to know what you think about Billy Joe's American debut last night. He seemed kind of concerned at the end of the fight. America, please still follow me. This is not your normal Billy Joe Saunders. Or please make sure that you continue to follow me and watch me get knocked out by Canelo. Go ahead, bro.
I don't know what to say about Billy Joe Saunders because I have to try to break a pattern of hating on a fighter. See, if I said that I think that he looked slow and that he made a big mistake of fighting an Argentine fighter, which is always certain style, certain cats when I see who they're fighting in the country that they're from, that's going to be trouble. I think he had a matchmaking problem because you have guys like Carlos Monzon, you have guys like Marcus McDonough, people like that. I just consistently see fighters out of Argentina who just have these really awkward, they're really tough guys with awkward styles who cause tough matchups for people. So I think that one dude he was just a very difficult fighter to fight because he's somebody that you don't really know a lot about from an area that produces very awkward and very, people that are pretty much designed to upset standard styles of boxers. He did a lot what the announcer said about a lot of mirroring. I thought that guy was fighting a good fight, but then he got cocky and mirrored him too much, let his hands drop, and Billy Joe Saunders caught him. And then when Billy Joe Saunders caught him, I think he got a little dirty He started cuffing his head
Yep.
with one hand and taking his hand off and punching him like that. I thought he hit him behind the head, in the back of the head, maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe 2 or 3 times. So the guy just got buzzed and couldn't get out of it. But I mean, Billy Joe Saunders is, I think he's a good fighter. I don't think anything different of him than I really thought before, because the only good fight I've ever really seen him in was against David Lemieux. And David Lemieux is just, he's David Lemieux. He's a come forward fighter that if he can't knock you out, he's not going to be the top level fighter. But I don't think Billy Joe Saunders is a bad fighter. I just think that, he had a very tough matchmaking, similar to the Devin Haney situation. I don't think matchroom boxing has as high quality or at very least as conservative a matchmaker as, say, Top Rank has or Golden Boy has. So you can see these guys getting into fights with styles of guys that are going to be difficult for them, because I just don't think that their matchmakers are as good as, say, Top Rank matchmakers. With Top Rank matchmakers, how the fight's going to come out. The Top Rank fighter 99 out of 100 times is going to win, because they go in with that mindset. But what I've seen out of matchroom boxing's matchmakers in the United States is that they're putting in people against guys whose styles can make the other guy look bad. And so you wind up getting upsets like, they do stupid things like have Kell Brook fight Gennady Golovkin. They have Andy Ruiz fight Anthony Joshua fight Andy Ruiz and not know what Andy Ruiz is really about. Even the fight with the Dominican guy that was living in Puerto Rico with Devin Haney, that was a tough matchup. They could have found somebody to make Devin Haney look better than a long, rangy type of fighter like that. So I think he's a good fighter, but I just think that the matchroom boxing's matchmakers are just really not up to par. I mean, if what they're trying to do is make their fighter look good. If you're looking for good, entertaining fights, I thought it was a good, entertaining fight.
Yeah, man. I did hear that Billy Joe Saunders was looking for 78 Sports TV for giving him that name. He over here in America now, 78. So watch your mouth with Billy Joe, man. He a gypsy boy. He come and serve your ass up, boy. You better watch out with all that talk now, But anyways, let's go to Trap House Boxing, man. You got a signal out there in the backwoods, bro? What's going on, man?
Come on, man. You the only one that live out there in them sticks, man. Cut it out, man. But anyway, let's get down to Billy Joe Saunders, man. With Billy Joe, here's the thing with Billy Joe. Billy Joe ain't gonna look simpler. He ain't gonna look good unless he playing a Matador role. If he don't got a bull in front of him that's putting him under pressure and trying to take his head off, him coming forward is not gonna be impressive. I mean, and to me, I think that personally, the boxing, I ain't gonna say boxing, I'm gonna say matchroom. They dropped the ball big time, because you got two good fighters. You got 2 good fighters on your YouTube card, and you ain't gonna put them in there with guys that they gonna just run over and destroy. I mean, that look bad, for that casual eye. That don't look good for the casual eye. They want to see knockout. It didn't matter who they would put in there. They just want to see somebody get knocked out. You know what I mean? But I just thought that was a bad move. But as far as Billy Joe, I just think that style wasn't good enough. It wasn't a good style for him. I thought the pressure was on him because he had to look impressive, and he's not a come forward looking impressive type fighter. And that's pretty much all I got.
Okay, I had to go on mute because my coffee machine over here is going crazy in this motherfucker. But nah, man. Any super chats? Or are we gonna move on to the next subject here? If not,
let me hit. Did you get Curtis Anderson on that?
Yeah, Kurt talked about Billy Joe.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, that's it on the super chat.
Everybody covered it. I'm not going to say nothing because I want to move on to the next subject. So
yeah, that's it on the super chat.
Okay, according to the zone. All right, let's talk Devin Haney. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna open it up real quick. I'm just gonna give y'all a little take, and then I'm gonna let the OGs go. I'm just gonna say this real quick because this was just so fucking irritating. We saw Devin Haney being featured on the zone last night. According to the zone, Lomachenko is the #1 lightweight. Can y'all believe that? That the zone actually said I don't know if y'all heard it like I heard it, but they actually said that Lomachenko is the #1 lightweight, even though he has not fought one of the explosive young lightweights, okay? Nor has he fought the other champion, Richard Comey. In fact, Comey is the champion getting ready to take a risk here, okay, and fighting a young fighter in Lopez. I'm not really sure what kind of shit they smoking over there at the Zone, but it's potent. I don't know if it was that OG, if that was that Gorilla Glue. Maybe it had to be Sour Diesel, because I damn sure got a sour taste in my mouth listening to that shit they was on last night. I thought Haney was the face of the Zone. I would advise Haney to get the fuck out of there as fast as he can. They downplaying him anyways, and he's being featured on a low-level app. All night they kept referring to numbers because they're struggling with numbers. So they kept talking about these YouTubers and all of that, which I can't wait to talk about that. But yet they promoting a top-ranked fighter. These are the limits they will climb in order to have a non-black face at the top of boxing. I wonder what the OGs think about this. First of all, tell me about the fight with Devin Haney and Demetrius Andre, little brother, the guy with the red dome. Like, I don't understand them guys either with they man persons. But tell me about the fight with him and Demetrius Andre, little brother. Let's start out with you know what? Let's go with Fanon first this time. Let's go with Fanon.
On Devin Haney?
On Devin Haney, we're talking about Devin Haney. Anything that you have to bring to the table about Devin Haney, them promoting Lomachenko as the pound for pound, which I thought was bullshit. Okay, he's not. He's a top ranked fighter, not a Zone fighter. How are they gonna go out there and do my brother like that, who's helping them out? All right, and then they're gonna put Lomachenko on top, who ain't fought none of the young explosive fighters.
Lomachenko being the top lightweight, as far as Lomachenko being the top lightweight, I can think that people could say that because he's got 2 of the belts and he's got half of the belts. So I could see why they would say that he's the top lightweight. I want to see, and plus he fought on his last fight was on DAZN, so they probably trying to get him back. They probably trying to get him back over there because he fought Luke Campbell on DAZN. And he fought over there and it was Sky was part of the this show as well. And he fought Luke Campbell, was televised on Sky. So, they're gonna do that. And this is the first championship fight for Devin Haney. So I wasn't really too tripping on that, because at this point in time, I think Lomachenko has definitely earned the right to say he's the #1 lightweight. I would say the same thing about Errol Spence Jr. But I want to say something to a guy that put a little smart ass comment out there and saying that comparing the fight with Sean Porter and Errol Spence Jr. to Monster Inouye and Donaire, kick fucking rocks, dude. Those were 2 top level prime welterweights, and neither one of them walked out that damage. That was a high level fight inside. Those fights were not similar at all. But Sean Porter is a tough fight for anybody, and he's in his prime. But as far as with Devin Haney, I did a video about Devin Haney and Tank Davis going into this, and I was like, look, man, Devin Haney is getting a lot of positive press about, definitely within the LDBC and within the boxing community, period. And he's been going back and forth about Gervonta Davis. But what I said before this fight was that, I love everything that I see about Devin Haney. I love everything that I see about Devin Haney. I love everything I saw in that fight about Devin Haney. But he still actually has to fight, more experienced fighters. So he got in with a guy that came there to fight. He was a tough fighter. Devin Haney looked good in it. He slip punches very well. I liked all of the skill set I saw from him. I liked his jab. I liked his willingness to fight on the inside. I liked how he dipped underneath punches. I loved his pull counters. I think I could see a lot of the things that he'd been working on that he learned from Floyd Mayweather Sr. I think that I like his overall boxing ability. The one thing that I think that Devin Haney probably doesn't have as much as I would like to see him have is power, because I saw him hit that dude with some very, very flush counters. He knocked the guy down, and it was You know, he got a good shot off on a guy and knocked him down. But I don't know if he has, you know, if he really has the out and out, straight up, just clean, cold, cocky punching power that I'd like to see him have. But, you know, if he decides that he doesn't want to get hit, you know, you're not going to hit him. If you're letting go your hands, he's gonna punch when you punch and catch you in the middle of it. He's a very, very tough kid. You know, I liked what I saw, but similar to Monster Inouye, I think he's a good fighter, but I think that he still has to fight. He still has to fight more experienced fighters that are really going to show you what he can do, you know, when time gets tough. In that particular fight, I think that might cause people to, you know, run and say, oh, he's not ready for Lomachenko, this and that and the other thing. But I think that's the type of fight similar to an Emmanuel Augustus versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. type of fight, or definitely not. If this fight's not like it, his next fight, which more than likely is going to be somebody like a Javier Fortuna, those are going to be the fights that give Devin Haney the type of experience where when he moves up in weight or he gets to be 24, 25 years old are really going to serve him there. So I liked what I saw. He's got every skill in the book. His punching power is not super tremendous like Teofimo Lopez punching power, but and he got a good chin. He got a good chin too, because I saw him get hit, and also he didn't continue to get hit with the same punch.
But that guy got 4 knockouts for now.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. He got hit. Okay, if the guy couldn't punch, that's fair enough. But what I saw about him is he didn't continue to get hit with the same punch over and over and over again. He made adjustments. I thought he did a good job. But at the same time, I think people might need to, you know, slowly put their foot on that brake about, definitely like the Gervonta Davis thing. That dude is not as good as Gervonta Davis, and he gave Devin Haney a good fight. Devin Haney won every round. Don't get me wrong, but you know, that's my thoughts on it.
Okay, let's move on here. Let's go with Trap House Boxing. What you think, man, about Devin Haney, bro? Lomachenko, whatever you want, lightweight division.
Well, which question you want me? We got 2 questions or 1 question?
Basically, you know, just freestyle, bro. And anything to do with Devin Haney in the lightweight division and what you saw last night.
All right, so from what I didn't see the whole Devin Haney fight. I seen, you know, bits and pieces of it, but I mean, what I did see, you know, like Fanon said, all of the good skill set and all that. But where I was kind of disappointed in Devin Haney at, because I seen like towards the middle, late rounds, it was times in the fight where I seen a lot of in the Sean Porter and the Ugas fight where it was a lot of just posturing and staring at each other and shit like that. I mean, I thought he could have been executing his jab instead of posturing and you know, staring and all that other shit. Because I know I see Devin Haney pump his jab more than that, you know. But as far as like the opponent he was in, I think that dude probably be tough for a lot of people, man. I don't think he was just an easy guy to knock out, to be honest with you. I thought that it was the style. I thought the style and the ranginess kind of played a part on it. Not making no excuses for Devin, but you know, I just think that dude would have gave a lot of people some problems in that ring, that Santiago dude. But as far as like Devin Haney, I do agree with Fanon. I do want to see more power on those punches, man. I know a lot of people say they seen his he developed his grown man strength and all that. I don't necessarily agree with that. You know, I think a lot of times when he was letting his punches go, I think that I think he could throw more punches and bunches, so to say, due to lack of the power. You know what I mean? I think he could throw a little bit more punches and bunches because he got the reflexes to get in and out of the situation. You know. But that's pretty much all I got on Devin Haney. As far as like with him and Lomachenko, it's kind of like a damn if you do, damn if you don't. I mean, I really don't know how good Devin Haney is at this point. I know he's good, but it's like, I mean, do you put him in there with Lomachenko right now? Or do you think he still need a fight or two? You know, that's the big question. That's the question. That's another question I really got for everybody else. It's like a spinoff question. You don't got to answer it right now.
I believe that he's ready for Lomachenko right now, to be honest with you, man. A lot of these fighters, young fighters who've been fighting since the age of 5 and all of that, they're usually ready by the time they're 20, 21 for a world title shot. I know we had Cali Enigma in there. I missed a couple. I saw Cali Enigma show up in there talking about the zone hating.
We got about 3, so whenever you're ready.
Go ahead, wrap those up, and I'm going to get KQKC and Kurt Anderson's take on this.
Hey, there's this question right here by Big Rough Boxing. Shout out to that. I put that up there because I do want to answer that question directly whenever you give the time for me to do it. 78. I didn't want to forget it.
Go ahead and do it now.
Okay. So TZ Frank said, this show is my church on Sunday, paying my tithes. Thank you, sir. Kenneth Johnson, salute to the OGs. The Cali Enigma Sports Entertainment said, Chris Mannix was over there hating on Devin Haney. I spoke about it after the fight. Chris Mannix said, without acknowledging he ducked Haney. Okay, and then and this is connected to the super chat from Cali Enigma. He said, Professor Fanon, what do you think about Chris Mannix saying Devin Haney's WBC championship is not legit and that Lomachenko was the current champion with his witness protection belt? I think Chris Mannix is a fucking idiot. That's what I think about Chris Mannix. I think he's a fucking idiot. I think he's a fucking journalist. The dude went to that's why I said follow me on Twitter, dude. That's what I do for fun, is try to harass those dudes. Those guys are worse. There's only thing worse than the WBC and these stupid rulings he gives are the fact that these talking heads that don't care about boxing, don't think about boxing, and the only reason they got these damn jobs is because nobody would let them cover baseball, get to say stupid shit like that. Chris Mannix saying that the WBC championship is not legit just delegitimized every fucking belt in the WBC except for Canelo's and Lomachenko's. The belt that Devin Haney has is the same belt that every other WBC champion has in boxing. So how in the world can that be illegitimate? That's moronic. But that's what he does. He is just out there trying to sell whatever his producers want to sell. He doesn't think about what he's saying. If Devin Haney's is not legit, then Deontay Wilder's is not legit. Then David Benavidez is not legit. Errol Spence Jr.'s is not legit. Josh Taylor's is not legit. Gary Russell Jr.'s is not legit. There's only 2 franchise champions in all of boxing, and that's Lomachenko and Canelo. So how can theirs be the legit belts when everybody else has what Devin Haney has? And there's been many times that people have won vacant belts. It's a vacant belt. Lomachenko, the practical effect of the franchise championship for both Canelo and Lomachenko was that they vacated their belts. You can call it stripped or you can call it vacated, but they vacated the belt and they don't have mandatories. You can't even defend. If you cannot defend something, then it's not a championship. You're not a champion of anything. So no, man, Chris Mannix, number one, and that's the only thing I actively ask people, follow me on Twitter. Because, dude, these cats say more stupid shit on a regular basis on Twitter than anywhere else. I'm not on Instagram. I got to catch up on Instagram. But on Twitter, these guys say moronic shit every day. Mike Coppinger, and this can maybe explain to Trap why I get so into this. The reason why I go so hard is because the day before the fight, Mike Coppinger called Mike Coppinger, who these clowns listen to, and these guys are in their own little circle jerk, congratulating each other on their boxing articles. Krager, Coppinger, Kim, and these guys and some of these other guys are all congratulating and spreading each other's tweets. And this dude Coppinger said Inouye was the number 2 pound for pound guy before that fight. And that's what they're putting out there. And you have legitimately very talented fighters that are struggling very hard to get recognized. Specifically, guys like Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is not being treated with the same respect Monster Inouye is being treated with. And this guy's got 40 fucking knockouts. It has been a champion since 2015. But you listen to Credible and you listen to these guys that are putting these guys up there like that, and you wouldn't know. So, no, Chris Mannix, I don't think anything of Chris Mannix. I think Chris Mannix is a Boston College educated journalism major who couldn't get a fucking job, covering politics or baseball or basketball, and they go to a tertiary sport where they can talk all kind of crazy shit. You got a guy with less fucking, what's that dude's name? Radio Raheem? Radio Raheem was calling the fight for the zone. I don't think anything of these dudes. That's my thoughts on it.
Okay, fair enough, man. I don't really know a lot of those writers you're talking about, but I've seen their articles. I don't know them by name, but you're right about some of that shit. They tend to downplay the black fighters. They've been doing it for years. All right. If you go back to old broadcasts of HBO from the 1980s, you hear Larry Merchant, and before then, you hear my boy, what's his name, who used to be with Ali all the time. He used to do that shit too. That great
Pacheco.
Howard Cosell?
Cosell and all them guys. In fact, Kurt, man, I got you on the horn now, man. I want to know what you think, man, about the young sensational Devin Haney, the lightweight division. Kurt Anderson, my brother.
To be honest with you, I didn't like his performance, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because his technique, he has to improve on his technique. His punches are too wide, man. A good fighter will see that and will counter him. Like a Tank Davis or Lomachenko will counter that with short punches. I like fighters who throw short, crisp punches. He's getting away with pure athleticism. And see, it's different when you have athleticism and you lack technique. But when you have technique and athleticism, it takes you to another level. He has to improve, man. He's a champion. He has to improve quickly because he's calling out. And I like his passion, Lomachenko's and Tank, but he better be very careful. When you fight a guy, that guy was awkward, but you still got to get him out of there, man. I really didn't like his performance, man. He has to pump the brakes. He probably reading press clippings, and we give him a lot of love on the LDBC, and he's, comparing him to Floyd Mayweather. He's nowhere near Floyd Mayweather. It seems like he can't crack an egg. It's the athleticism that's getting him over right now. I mean, he's only 20. He can improve. I've seen improvement on Shakur Stevenson. I'm not sold on these young guys like Ryan Garcia and Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. They all got to show me more. The youngest fighter, the young fighter that's on the come up that shows me that his talent jumps out at me that I don't have no questions about is Jaron Ennis. But besides him, all those young fighters and champions and prospects and contenders, they got to show me more. I'm not going to give them keys to the car, and tell them go enjoy themselves, man. Haney should have got that dude out of there, man. He was 12-0, I believe, with 4 knockouts. Yeah, he was awkward, but that's when your ring IQ kicks in. He should have broke him down to the body. He should have fought on the inside because the guy was long in length. And then Devin Haney was trying to roll with some punches, and he did a good job evading punches. He got hit here and there, but, no big deal. It's boxing. But I didn't really like his performance, man. And he has to go back and, really concentrate on his craft, meaning shorten up on your punches, man. Stop throwing those wide, long punches because, like I said, a good fighter will counter that with short, crisp punches like a Tank. Tank is he doesn't have the length of a Haney, or he's not quite athletic, but his technique is better. And he'll get on the inside, go to Haney's body, man, and, throw those, devastating short right hooks that I love about Tank. So, I'm not going to be too hard on him. He's 20, pump the brakes on, comparing him to Floyd Mayweather. He's nowhere near that skill level, man. And, hopefully, and I know he will improve, but, his punching power or lack thereof, kind of scares me because even though power is not everything, it is something in boxing, man.
And his number one contender has a lot of power, Tank Davis. And Tank Davis is also 4 years older and has more experience. People seem to be pushing Haney towards that fight. When you get a belt, man, you got to take what's up there, man. So I think
Fortuna, though, blood.
What's that?
His mandatory, according to Eddie Hearn, is going to be Javier Fortuna.
I know that their mandatories and number one ranked are different, but he'll probably fight him first. But they're going to have to do something about that Tank fight, eventually they're going to have to address it because he's ranked #1. So I'm pretty sure he'll be the mandatory not before long. We have the Brothers UK in the super chat. He says, "Peace, brother Fanon and the panel. Hey man, we appreciate you too, Brothers UK, man. We appreciate all of y'all out there, man. We're gonna put Trap House Boxing on here. We're kind of moving on. We got to get through this through our discussion. So Trap House, tell me what you no did you already this is KQKC's time. I'm sorry, KQKC, my brother, the singing OG, man. Your take on this whole thing. We want to hear what you think about Devin Haney, my brother.
Okay, well, Devin Haney, he's young. He got a lot to learn. And like I was saying to the panel last night, the subscribers last night, that Devin Haney, he does a lot of lateral movement. He's very athletic. Of course, you expect that when you're young. But he did fight flat-footed last night. He didn't do a lot of lateral movement and pop shotting, you know. He didn't do a lot of that. He stood there and he tried to fight. He tried to get inside, but Santiago had a long reach. And that was difficult for Haney. It was very difficult. Now, remember, you can't always knock somebody out. And he is not that strong right now. He doesn't sit down on his punches like he should. And yes, he doesn't have strength right now. And once you move up, if they move him up right, he's going to run into different styles of fights. And he's going to have to figure it out himself. His daddy can't always holler out and tell him do this and that, because you're not going to remember. You have to use your ring IQ to get in there and do what you have to do. Now, he's going to have to make a decision that, hey, I'm going to eat some punches to get in this side, get inside. But he figured it out. He knows the guy was trying to fight southpaw when he went to the southpaw stance. Then he used his left hand to go to the body shots. He went, And I noticed the guy was fatiguing a little bit. He started holding a little bit more, then a little bit more. Then when he fell down, that was because he had fatigue. He wasn't that hurt. So he got up and he's still a live dog in there. And he took his time. Now, see, as you fight more, maturity grows on you. Then you know, this is when I hold. This is when I jab. This is when I give him a check hook. This is how I get out of trouble. See, strength is a lot. So when you fight someone like Tank Davis, okay, who has a lot of strength, who's heavy-handed, we all know when Michael Garcia, when he fought Lomachenko, Earl Spence, yes, Michael Garcia has great footwork. He got great fundamentals, but weight, size make a difference, especially in boxing. That's why they have weight classes. As again, like I said, and Devin Haney had to understand this. He cannot dominate each fight because we all know that styles make fights. And that one style, it made that fight last night last, So, sometimes you just, when you're a champion, let me put it this way. When you're a champion, everybody's coming for that ass. All right? When you're a champion, you're going to run into everybody. You got the belt. You're the man. So I got to beat the man. Or I got to put on a good showing so they can ask my ass to come back. I put on another good showing so I get paid more. So therefore, everybody's going to come for you. Everybody. So that's what champions do. They get in there. You might get hurt. Shoot, you might get knocked down. But that's how I know that you're a true champion. In your heart, I can know. You get up and you knock their asses down. You get up, get back up, do your thing. Take a punch, keep going. You got a chin, keep going. That's how I know that you built for something. And that's how I know that you're going to be a #1 champ one day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
The monster hunt for none. I'll be fucking.
What did you say?
Like the monster hunt for none. I was just fucking with you, though, man. I was the best.
Oh, I didn't hear, man. I'm sorry. I hate that. I missed that. Go ahead, though. That's good.
Okay, so Fanon, you got any super chats or anything you want to address?
I think we're caught up. Brothers UK, you read Brothers UK. I think that's it.
Let's keep it moving here, okay? All right, so last night was a different kind of night in boxing. It was a kind of strange night for a lot of us. We had two YouTubers, Logan Paul versus KSI. All right. First of all, let me get in the super chat. We have IFBB LG9. He says, salute to the OGs. Thanks for the informative chat. Yes, sir, man. Hey, man, we appreciate you, IFBB, man. We really appreciate the super chat. And we got pull up in here, man. Legendary Topcast done pulled up. Okay. He said, that's our brother. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Legendary Topcast. He says, Haney seems like he didn't take the fight seriously. Yeah, I just think the guy just had an awkward style, man. I don't think a lot of guys would have finished that guy. Number one, you got to remember that this guy was undefeated, so this might end up being one of those guys that we see take some L's, but it's hard to knock out. We don't know yet. We'll see this guy matched up against other fighters like Tank Davis and them in the future, and then we'll find out if if this guy's just one of those type of fighters. Some fighters are really good at going in there and giving a fighter a distance fight, giving them 12 rounds. And I think he could be one of those fighters, my bro. But like I said, it was a special night last night. This has been an interesting time in boxing. Last week, the so-called face of boxing sat on the couch and played second fiddle to their second-tier MMA belt. The baddest man on the planet fight took place between Diaz and Masvidal. This weekend, we watched the man that is holding the same title that was held by Roberto Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez, and Pernell Whitaker be on the undercard match to some YouTubers. Can y'all believe that? Some YouTubers. What's up to Drew Titan in the super chat? He's also going to be back on the panel soon, man. He says, shout out to the panel. I'll be back. So, hey, man, we're waiting for you to come back, Drew, man. We're waiting for you, bro. We saw these YouTubers. We actually saw a few YouTubers on the undercard too. So the next time these celebrity fighters want to treat you second rate, remind them that all you have to do is get a following of 1 million, and you could be the main event to one of their championship fights. You know, these guys want to always have attitude with us, okay? So we let them know, like, look, don't fuck with me, man. Don't give me the motherfucking interview, or I'll make you the undercard on one of my fights, because YouTubers are taking over boxing now, okay? And you can also get paid more than them too, because KSI and Logan Paul got paid more than Billy Joe Saunders, okay? You cameramen, get big. All you cameramen out there walking around fighting these fighters, following these fighters, get big, set up a fight, be the main event to Charlo or Tank Davis. I mean, that could happen. This is where boxing is at. To all you fight fans that disrespected this event, remember that these guys put their lives on the line for you. These guys are pro fighters, okay? Within the next few years, these YouTube celebrities will start winning WBC belts. I already saw one carrying a WBC belt of some sort yesterday. There's a large variety of them to choose from. In fact, they threw in a fight right before the main event, and I thought that was some YouTube fighters. Shit, they had a guy who looked just like Logan Paul or Paul Logan or whatever the fuck that white boy name is. They had a guy look just like him who was a real fighter. I thought those were the YouTube fighters. Shit, the fucking YouTube fighters did better than some of the pros last night. Okay, so let's get into this shit, man. You know what, man? Who want to go first on this, man? Who want to go first?
You ain't going first all day.
Who
I
has
don't
been?
think Casey's going first or Kurt.
KQKC, give us what you got, man.
Okay, sorry. Had my cigarette in my hand.
Yes, sir.
You know what? I watched the fight. Didn't call it, but I watched it. And first of all, I think it's kind of a disrespect to pro boxing. Yes, okay, fine. They're YouTubers, and it's good for entertainment. You know, while we wait on the other fight to come out. You know, something like that, like a circus. You know, kill time. Yeah, that'd be great. But they're not real boxers. You know, I mean, Jack Reese took points away like they was really, really boxing. Now, do they have a license? I don't know. I'm sure they signed something, but they got paid a nice hefty chunk. And they have over 1 million some followers, subscribers. So, but like the young man said, KSI, he threw, you know, he gonna move on to something else, you know, and that's what he should do, because the way he was fighting, You know, no wonder his ass was tired. He was throwing haymakers and missing. You know, something like Pacquiao did against Floyd. You know, so therefore, you know, I mean, it just I don't want to see that in boxing. You know, I love boxing. I don't want to see that happen again. I don't want Eddie Hearn, you know, making a mockery out of boxing. I know what he's doing. You know, he's losing, and now he's trying to find a crutch to bag his ass up. That's all. He's trying to find a new gimmick. You know, that's it. So, no, I didn't care nothing about it. You know, and I'm laughing my ass off, but that's about it. You know, so it is what it is. So that's all I got to say about that.
Okay, we got a few super chats. We got Main Event Mark. He gave us a few. He says, I look forward to your knowledge every Sunday, fam. Hey, man, we're glad to have you here, Main Event Mark. We know you very well, man, and we appreciate all the support that you give the LDBC. And he sent us another super chat. He says, I feel like I'm sitting with family talking in the barbershop. Yes, sir. That's what we do, man. We bring that barbershop discussion. I think I got all the super chats that
Hey, Blood.
The Cash App that you couldn't see. Much love out there to Ivy Webb and the Cash App. Thank you so much for your support.
Okay, so we're gonna move on, man. Trap House Boxing, man. Did you see what happened last night, man? This KSI Paul.
Yeah, I caught some of it after the main event. We'll put that the top rank card, the Heron and the Roach fight. But first of all, I want to ask the main event Mark. He don't got a super chat, and I just wanted him to he can just text him and hit me up on Instagram or whatever, and tell me how those fights went in Portland. He went to a live fight card last night. But anyway, to get to this KSI crap, I mean, it was just a entertainment act. But to me, I think that this is how I look at it. I think I heard KQ say that it was disrespect to boxing, but at the same time, boxing let this shit disrespect the damn self. I mean, boxing don't give a damn, or they let it go on like this. To me, if boxing was so against it, they should have been like, just do it on YouTube. We ain't gonna do it on the Zone. No boxing platforms like that. They should just left it on YouTube. You know, if it was gonna be just a circus, event like it was. But I think that I had highlighted this early when it first jumped off about the fight. When I first heard about Devin Haney and Billy Joe on the fight card, I was like, wow. So you mean to tell me two pro fighters is playing on the undercard, fighting on the undercard for some YouTube guys? I don't know if y'all remember that. Huh?
Yeah, world champions at that, bro.
Yeah. So I said that a few months ago, but I didn't get it. But the thing is this: when they come down to Eddie Hearn, it seems like his promoter skills are so bad. Because if you notice, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, if y'all can understand how I'm gonna articulate it, but it seems like the good fighters that he has, that like Andre, Devin Haney, guys like that. Those guys, he get them over there on the swindle deal and promise them these fights, and he get them in all these fights where they don't really look that good, look like a last night. That wasn't a good look for Devin Haney. You know what I mean? That wasn't gonna draw the casual appeal. Like I said earlier, the casual appeal, they want to see knockout. They could have just picked some dudes from Frito-Lay and the Pepsi company and put them in the ring and knock them out. That's what they want to see. They don't want to see guys in there with technique and skill. Those guys didn't come there for that. So to me, that was bad promotion on that end. And then you get these guys like AJ and all these guys that he put so much stock into that ain't really that good, and they fucking up his brand on top of the horrible matchmaking that they got going on. So to me, it benefited the gamer community more than it benefited boxing, in my opinion. That's just how I look at it. But as far as the fight, your boy, what's the white boy name with the weird ass haircut? What type of haircut is that?
What?
Logan.
Yeah, he got some old 70s shit going on. But he had the more, he looked like AJ in there to me, like a little a white AJ, white AJ in there. I'm just being honest with you. That look, this same performance is gonna be what you gonna see whenever AJ and Ruiz fight. That's what AJ gonna try to do all night. I guarantee you. But he don't got the good, the boxing skills to be able to do it all night. I don't think. But as far as your boy KSI, he wasn't doing nothing but just loading up on right hands all night, trying to land that one little haymaker. I mean, it was okay for just for some entertainment, but I think it hurt. I think boxing didn't really benefit as far better than they did off of it. That's just my opinion.
Okay, Fanon, man, give us your take on it, man. We got about one or two more subjects to cover after this. Give us your take real quick on this whole thing. I got to go find my charger, so I'm going to let you cook. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Man, my take on it, man, is like, I'll say the one thing good that was about it. It proves that, because I watched the KSI Logan fight. It proves that if you have two equally matched fighters, that a fight can be entertaining. I mean, I thought it was entertaining, kind of like, if you watch videos on, if somebody gets sucker punched on a subway in DC or something, like it had a certain amount of that to it. Like, man, is he gonna hit him with that wild ass shot? And Logan Paul got those 2 points taken away from him. See, the dangerous thing about that though, these guys, and I actually, man, I was thinking about Jack Reese having taken away that 2 points from the blonde dude. Okay, I think that's Logan Paul. I thought he was right because that dude gonna screw around and kill somebody. That's what I thought. I'm like, dude, you were really letting these guys out here with all these people dying in boxing, and these people are trained to take punches for years. You're putting in front of all these people 2 amateur fighters with no headgear. Dude, these guys can kill each other. Because you have to know how to take a punch, and training for a couple months isn't going to get you used to taking punches. It's like you're going to screw around and get one of these dudes killed on his own. That's what I thought was stupid. And I actually thought when Jack Reese took 2 points away, that was smart to keep that dude from doing it, because he hit that guy straight. Logan Paul threw a punch straight down at him. And there's no punch like
holding his neck.
What are you saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was just saying he was holding his neck too. So
yeah, I mean that's sick, and you can wind up getting somebody killed. So I thought it's the zone is just. I mean, they trying, man. They're trying to get people on that app. They're paying all kind of ridiculous amounts of money for fights that people aren't asking for. It just seems like they think that they want to go about doing boxing in some different way. And everything is designed towards trying to pull in casual boxing fans. And it's not really there for, it's like they give good fights to hardcore boxing fans almost by accident. You know what I mean? Like the World Boxing Super Series is cash starved, so they get the World Boxing Super Series. But, I didn't think much of the fight, man. I just think it's like, I thought that was a very dangerous thing to do for the zone, to put in people that do not really know how to fight without headgear and let those guys go swinging away at each other. That shit could have been tragic, because we had somebody pass away. Let me know when you're back, Blood. I put you on mute because of the sound.
I'm here.
Okay, cool. So I know I can roll up then. I just thought that was I thought it's irresponsible to do it. I mean, as far as watching 2 dudes run around, and the whole thing was like a freak show. Did you see the guy that did the national anthem? It was like a black dude with blonde dreads and blue fucking contacts and makeup on, doing the fucking.
I think he was related to Andre. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
What the fuck? What was that shit? Anyway, yeah. So whatever. You know what I mean?
All right, let me give you my opinion real quick on this, because we got 2 more subjects I want to cover. I know 70.
And we got a little extra time, but 78 is going to be going on. He's running to the store. I should have said that. He'll be back shortly, and we'll let you know when it is time to go over to 78 Sports TV, because his live stream is coming on as soon as we conclude this. So when we see 78 in the chat again, that's when we know.
Okay, so let's try to get through this subject matter here. I want to give you all my opinion on this whole thing, man. In my opinion, this was a rude awakening for boxing to have world title holders be on the undercard of a YouTube celebrity match, okay? It demonstrates the deterioration of the alphabet title belt. Not only that, but it proves my theory that these fighters today have no swag. They talk about being businessmen, but they are failing to build their brands efficiently, okay? The fact the Zone even pointed out that fighters like Billy Joe Saunders should take a page out of these YouTubers' book. I mean, that says it in itself, okay? So they're aware of that too, that these fighters don't have any swag or personality. You know, the game, like the old saying goes, the game is to be sold, not told. And these OGs from YouTube are teaching these so-called professional fighters what swag is all about. These YouTubers are also going. This shit is just so crazy, man. I can't. These fighters, man. These fighters, they always claim they from the streets and all that, but the celebrity YouTuber is schooling these guys on how to move in these streets. Okay, I'm glad this happened because boxing needs this. They need this rude awakening, man. These celebrity fighters, you know, they think they're special. To all you celebrity fighters, just remember that you may one day be talking about one of our championship fights if you can't get it together, okay? Become a legit world champion. There's a thin line between being a YouTube page and a celebrity boxer, and that was proven last night. Now let's move on to the next subject here. The WBC increased we got to cover this, and we got to cover the Canelo shit, okay? So we got to cover Deontay Wilder rejecting the idea of being elevated to franchise, and we also got to cover the WBC increases the threshold for the drug clenbuterol. These will be the last two subjects we cover. We want to make this fast, man. So we're going to talk first about the WBC increasing the allowable threshold for the drug clenbuterol. Well, as everybody knows, as everyone knows, in the media hyped so-called prestigious sanctioning body, the WBC, they're back in the headlines with more comedy. It's a serious matter, though. It's not comedy, but at this point, how else can I describe it, okay? It appears that the WBC has increased the threshold for the performance enhancer clenbuterol. First, we have them bringing forth a new belt that has devalued their traditional belt to being placed on the undercard to a couple of YouTubers. In this new elevated franchise status, a fighter can cherry pick all he wants and hold on to his belt for continuous sanctioning fees to be gathered, okay? What do you guys think of the WBC increasing the allowable threshold for the drug clenbuterol, okay? I only see, let's go with Kurt Anderson. I ain't heard from Kurt in a while, man. I'm trying to get everybody here equal, man. Come on, Kurt. You there?
Yeah. The WBC, real quick, is trash, man. They can do what they want because they not being policed, man, by a commission, whatever, man. This is the sport, that we love, man. That there's no integrity, there's no honor among thieves or nothing like that, man. Anything goes, we haven't seen a B sample from a certain fighter. So they can do what they want, man. It's just, like you said, we got a two champions that was on the undercard of YouTubers, man. We got, people that's being, tested positive for cocaine, get a slap on the wrist. We got franchise champions. I don't know what that is, basically. I know what it is, but it's just sad. And this is the day and age that we live in, and this is boxing as of 2019. Somebody got to put these guys in check, man. But, with no federal commission, man, they're going to continue to do what they want to do, man, with these drugs, man. And certain fighters get a slap on the wrist. And other fighters, can you imagine Deontay Wilder getting caught with a drug, man? They put him under the jail, man. That's just how it is. This reminds me of going back to the Black Murderers Row. And you got on Canelo. Remember, it doesn't even seem like Canelo was caught before with clenbuterol. It just seems like that. It just seems that, they gave him a slap on the wrist, and now, they reward him being franchise champion. If I didn't love this sport so much, man, I would turn my back. But I can't because I love it, and WBC, stands for "We Be Crooks," like somebody said. It always been a crooked organization, man. And the only person that had the WBC in check was Don King, and he's not there anymore, man. And he wasn't no Cub Scout, but they work hand in hand. So the WBC is going to continue to do what it want to do. Is not being governed or policed, man. And I really don't know what to say, because I'm not surprised at what goes on in the WBC and boxing in general. It's a joke. It's sad, but it's reality.
Yes, sir. Kurt, let me ask you something, man. When did you hear that the WBC was the prestigious belt? Because I remember hearing "We Be Crooks" in the 80s and 90s. I didn't hear that prestigious belt shit until Fight Hype. When did you first hear about them being the press? Because Ali had remember when they split, Ali had the WBA and Larry Holmes had the WBC at one time. At what point did they start with this? And then the IBF took over in '83. When did this prestigious belt shit come up, bro?
It was more of a campaign than anything in the 80s. They anointed themselves the prestigious belt, because usually, the WBA came a year. They was the first belt in '62. The WBC came in '63. They anointed themselves as the prestigious belts because they had certain champions that carry, their own belt. So it wasn't like it was an honor and somebody said, well, the WBC is the main belt. They anointed themselves the prestigious belts. They all the same to me, WBA, WBC, IBF. So that's what it basically was, because I can't put a finger on and be like, what makes you the belt of the all sanctioning bodies, man? Like, your belt is better than all the rest. It's just the organization, just like the others. So they basically anointed themselves. It was more of a campaign than anything.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, let's go with Trap House Boxing. Give us your take on this whole thing about the WBC, man. They're allowing the threshold for clenbuterol to go up. What you think about that, bro?
Well, I'm gonna be simple, man, and quick. To me, I know it might sound over the top, and impossible, but the way you do a machine like the WBC, you got to take their underwear off and wipe their own nose with their underwear, man. You got to just form some type of little fighter union or something, and they got to turn their back on WBC and make them, you got to give them some humble pie, man, because they're gonna continue to do that as long as because they know they got the power to do it. You know what I mean? But if you show them that you don't need their little phony straps and these titles and all this other crap that they coming with, eventually they'll get their mind right. And that's pretty much all I got to say, man.
KQKC, talk about the WBC here, bro. What you think about what they're doing with this clenbuterol shit?
Oh man, you know what? They're making every fighter that dropped dirty try it again, but just don't do as much. That's all it is. It's just giving them permission to use the shit. That's all. Now, I don't know how they go about measuring. Well, if you just got a little bit, it's okay. But if you have a lot, then maybe we just give you 2 months off. That's how it seems like. And yes, I used to say it's most prestigious belt in all the governing bodies. I even caught on to that, in which I thought it was. But then I got to say, hey, look, the IBF, hey, they making you fight their mandatories. They have a 10 weight limit. 10-pound weight limit. You can't rehydrate up to past 10, and I know they make you fight your mandatories. Now the WBC, they just out there, wow. They just out there that's not doing nothing. I hate to bring this up, but it's just like when the leaders of the gangs here in Chicago, like Larry Hoover, Jeff Ford, when they got locked up, all the other soldiers and stuff just went buck wild. It wasn't no order. It wasn't no order nowhere. And the same with the WBC. They don't have no order. They just straight up just went buck wild. And that franchise belt, that ain't nothing but a honorary degree. That's all. You didn't earn it, but they trying to say that you did a lot for the sport, which I don't see it in 14 fights, but you did a lot for the sport. So therefore, we're going to give you this recognition belt and therefore you can pick and choose who you want to fight. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna move it on.
From now to Don, man, you got anything on this WBC, man? They increased the threshold for clenbuterol. What you think about that, man?
Oh man, I think that it's absolutely crazy. And I went back and forth with some people in the comment section one of my video when I said, man, look, these are Canelo rules. Canelo tested positive for clenbuterol, and Canelo Alvarez had to dropped his WBC belt before because he didn't want to fight a mandatory before. That's before he fought Gennady Golovkin for the first time, and Canelo Alvarez wouldn't fight for the WBC belt in the first Gennady Golovkin fight, right? And then in the second Gennady Golovkin fight, when the belt was on the line, he tested positive for clenbuterol. Now, these rules, both, if they were in place when the WBC had those problems with Canelo, then they wouldn't have had the problems with Canelo. This is them just bending over for Canelo. Now, some people had responded about, well, this is really about WADA, because the World Boxing Doping Agency had said that for other athletics, they had raised the level of clenbuterol to acceptable level of clenbuterol in your system to make up for the food, right? Because people knew that the clenbuterol was in the meat of food in Mexico. This is my problem. This ain't soccer. This ain't soccer. This ain't basketball. This is boxing. Allowing any amount of performance-enhancing drugs in the system of a boxer is similar to allowing a NASCAR driver to be kind of high. When you're driving, there's no way if a basketball player like Deion Waiters, I think his name is Deion Waiters, who played for the Miami Heat, right? He overdosed on weed gummies over the weekend, right? Fell asleep. I think he had a seizure because he was on weed gummies. So just say though, the Deion Waiters walked into an NBA game high off of weed gummies. That's just going to make his jump shot miss. That's it. But if you have somebody like a significant NASCAR driver getting behind the wheel, driving 200 miles an hour or whatever their speed they're driving, high on weed gummies, you can kill 5-6 people easy just by making a wrong turn. That's the same thing what you're talking about with boxing. In boxing, you knowingly let somebody get in there under the influence of performance-enhancing drugs when their whole purpose is to concuss somebody. You are being reckless with the safety of other fighters for the sake of appeasing Canelo Alvarez. And that's absolutely crazy. The whole idea of having a championship is that you defend the championship. And the Ali Act, if I recall correctly, I got to read it again. One of the things that they did is they legislated the necessity of people being able to get title shots at basic times. And I think it's like Fraser Kendo sued the WBA because the WBA didn't allow him to get his play games with the rankings. But what the WBC they're trying to work their way around the Ali Act, but which mandates a certain procedure to have mandatories in ranking systems by saying we have a champion that the ranking system doesn't matter at all for, which is why I say Chris Mannix is a fucking idiot. Because if you have a ranking system, whether it's true, whether it's a good ranking system or not a good ranking system, at the very least, it's a ranking system. And you have some way to say that this thing isn't a farce. Okay, the reason you have a mandatory is so that you know that at a certain point once a year, that the champion has to fight somebody that earned it. They can't just fight guy that didn't earn it, guy after guy that didn't earn it. That prevents people from fixing fights, and it prevents fighters from getting blackballed, which was a huge problem throughout the history of boxing. From the Black Murderers Row to the times where heavy like Jack Dempsey and those guys between the time of Jack Johnson and the time of Joe Louis, them blackballing black champions, to the time of Black Murder Row where those guys couldn't get a fight, to Guillermo Rigondeaux, who got blackballed by HBO. That when you allow somebody and you put a franchise championship out there, you are allowing them to completely bypass the ranking systems. So when Chris Mannix says that the one belt that they have that means you have to fight a mandatory is illegitimate, tells you that dude is a fucking moron and is in the pocket of these people. You cannot defend the use of performance-enhancing drugs in a combat sport, period. And you cannot condone a champion not having to fight mandatory competition at all. That's my thoughts on the matter.
Okay, I'm going to give you all my thoughts on this, and then we have one more subject after that. It has to do with Deontay Wilder, but let me tell y'all what I think about this. I think it's sad. According to ESPN, and Dan Raphael did actually do an article on this. It was sent to me by Miss Boxing, okay? Shout out to Miss Boxing. I know she in there, man. But according to ESPN, the reason they did this was because there's clenbuterol in the meat over in Mexico, like we all know. There's steroids in meat in every country, man, okay? They could say that they put these regulations out there, but there's steroids in meat in every fucking country. There's some kind of performance enhancers. Like I said, if the black IBF president, Daryl Peoples, their president is black, okay? For all y'all who don't know, the IBF president is black. If he placed the threshold on whatever steroids they're placing in chicken, in barbecue joints, and soul food spots all around America, every boxing rider on a global scale would have a problem with that. In fact, I had a Popeye's chicken sandwich the other day, and that chicken breast looked bigger than normal to me. I mean, that was a big ass chicken breast. It was kind of weird how they ran out of sandwiches, and then all of a sudden they came back with an even bigger sandwich. Now, what if Charlo eat a Popeye's chicken sandwich? What about the mom and pop soul food joints over there in Sumter and Lake County, over there in Seminole County where Trap House Boxing live, out back in the woods? I know for sure they using something, man. Them big old oxtail they got. That some of them joints, the fucking oxtail, man, look like a damn pork chop. Okay, that's steroid meat. Okay, I had some wings over at D-Lo's Barbecue that look like chicken legs, man. Okay, the fucking wings look like chicken leg. They doing this to protect their fighters because they have clenbuterol in their meat. They allowed to eat steroid tacos and other fighters can't. Sounds ridiculous to me. After all these recent deaths, the WBC increases the threshold to protect the integrity of their fighters. How does this apply across the board? What about the contenders fighting in other sanctioning bodies, okay? Because you have contenders that are fighting in the WBC, the WBA, the IBF. It's just more confusion that they're bringing to the table, okay? So, you know, all Mexican fighters can be expected, okay, moving forward, all Mexican fighters can be expected to have high levels of clenbuterol in their system, okay? You guys are placing these fighters' lives at risk, man. You made enough money. Why don't you go fuck your fat wives and get them another facelift? You already paid off the balance on your hair replacement plan. You know the one that you and your fat wife have, okay? You already replaced your dentures and your implants. Get a job, boy. All right? Go open up a lavish Mexican burrito joint. You can serve all the clenbuterol tacos, all you could eat to the public, including the fighters, okay? The government can step in and regulate all the fights here in America to ensure the safety of these fighters. Clenbuterol needs to be banned before y'all kill somebody. All right? Shout out to Bees Nuts in the super chat. Yeah, man. Yes, 78. They putting crack in the fucking chicken sandwiches, man. All right? So just because they have a problem with their meat in Mexico, we got a problem over here too. Every country they putting some kind of shit in these meats now. All right? That's no excuse for Mexican fighters to come in here juiced up off of clenbuterol. All right? Then that's what they're doing. They're looking out for their own. All right? That's the WBC is Mexican. They've always been Mexican. And they look out for the Mexican people. Bees Nuts is in the super chat. My brother Bees Nuts. That's exactly what they're doing, man. We have one more subject to cover, 78, and then we'll be done. And we know 78's coming on next. All right? We're going to talk about Deontay Wilder. You know, he rejects this idea of being elevated to the franchise championship. Let me open this up, and then I'm going to go to the OGs. So we all have heard the WBC has been granting protection plans to select fighters, okay? The first being their cash cow, Canelo Alvarez. I mean, I'm sure y'all know about Canelo Alvarez, right? Then they granted Lomachenko with a franchise title. For Canelo Alvarez, the protection plan was enforced to protect him from Jermall Charlo. For Lomachenko, the protection plan was enforced to protect him from Devin Haney. A large portion of the boxing world seems to be cool with this, especially the boxing writers and the fangirls. As of recent, Wilder shot down the idea of him one day perhaps holding a franchise status. This portion of fangirls, known to many as the dark chuckers and basket weavers, still found a way to make a negative out of Wilder's stance. That's why I was happy when Wilder realized for himself that he can never please this particular portion of the boxing fan base. What the fuck can he do? All right. No matter what he does, it's never good enough, man. These guys over here, there's just a small percentage of them too, because we know Wilder's a superstar over in England. What's Dillian White over in Alabama, huh? Don't nobody fucking know Dillian White. We don't care about him over here. He's only known in boxing circles, all right? Nobody else knows. I take Dillian White with me all over the place right now when nobody know who the fuck he is, and y'all know it, okay? Just a small little percentage of you motherfuckers coming out here talking about Dillian White like he's some big name or something, okay? That's not the stance you guys took when AJ was more, when y'all thought that AJ was more popular than Wilder, okay? Y'all put all kind of barriers in the way, and now y'all want to change the shit up and all that kind of stuff. Y'all some dumb motherfuckers. Suck a dick, bitch, okay? Now I'm going to go to, you know what? Let's start out with Fanon. We got a lot of super chats, man. Fanon, let's start out with this, and then we'll go to the other. You can get the super chats, and we'll go to the other guys after.
All right. Sorry, let me run. I was doing a little math, man. Bees Nuts in the super chat. Much love in that super chat. Mr. Finesse says, salute, brothers. Keep dropping these facts. ESPN is nothing on LDBC boxing knowledge. And I got to disagree with that, dude. They know. They have the knowledge. They just don't have any integrity. It's a difference, Mr. Finesse, between knowledge and integrity. They know, they just don't care. Mr. Already, and I'll tell you exactly why. I'll tell you why the WBC, when I get my chance to talk about that franchise belt, because I just did the math on it. Mr. Already said, what up, Fanon? Salute, brothers. And let me hit this one more time, because it seemed like there was a couple more that came through, but I might have been. Oh, yes, it was. Brian Pensa said WBC needs to create their own belt and drop the rest. And then that's Brian Penson said that. And then Mr. J-Dub 20 Texas said WBC, we be cheating, cooking blood. Yep, those are the super chats. Blood?
Yo.
Yeah, I read them. Do you want me to do
okay, KQKC, man. Give us your take on, man, this unless Fanon, are you done talking about that part of it?
I didn't talk about it. I read the super chat.
Well, go ahead and go into it. You could go into it.
Okay, well, look, let's talk about this franchise belt and why exactly they passed this and how they got paid by DAZN. If these numbers are true, Canelo Alvarez's contract to DAZN pays the WBC $10.5 million. $10.5 million, because that's 3%. That's 3% of $350 million. If Canelo Alvarez's contract with DAZN is worth $350,000 over the life of it, then the WBC's, if he has a WBC belt and he gets the standard 3%, that is $10.5 million, and that will make you change a shitload of rules. If it's 3%, if he cut it in half and it was 1.5, then that is $5,250,000 for the WBC over the life of the DAZN contract, which comes straight from DAZN. Straight from DAZN. And that doesn't have anything to do with what if they have another WBC belt on the line. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And that's why they're protecting Canelo Alvarez, because DAZN is paying them to do it. The worst thing about DAZN is that it takes the free market out of boxing. If Canelo Alvarez had to go on pay-per-view, Canelo Alvarez would have to fight people that fight fans wanted to see. But by having DAZN pay up front all of his money, right? All of the money, it eliminates any risk from Canelo Alvarez. And it means that Canelo Alvarez can just fight whoever it is that DAZN wants him to fight. And then they can pick the specific people that DAZN wants him to fight to appeal to the audience that they want to appeal to. That's what happens from when you take the fight fans' influence out of the fight. Look at the numbers that this dude did in this show, in his last show. His attendance dropped by almost 40% from fight to fight, from Daniel Jacobs to Kovalev. Daniel Jacobs had 15,730 people in attendance for Daniel Jacobs. Against Sergey Kovalev, 5,700 people less actually went and saw that fight. If you listen to and talk to the people that talk about what it was like to be at the Canelo Alvarez weigh-in, there was like, this shit's like Ghostland. And then so you add that to why, like what they did in the last week when they decided to in that fight where they decided to hold up the fight so that they could wait till the UFC got in there. And now DAZN is doing this thing with KSI Logan, paying them all that money. Unless that's pay-per-view, unless that's actually pay-per-view, where are they going to get $8 million in purses for that bullshit? Okay. DAZN is trying to buy their way into the sport of boxing, and in doing so, their money that they're pushing is making a lot of people doing a lot of strange shit for the change they make. They cannot lose Canelo Alvarez. If Canelo Alvarez tests positive for Combuterol, and then they're out of $10.5 million, because what these guys are always trying to sell, and you'll see this in every single solitary fight that you watch on almost any network, they're selling a championship. It's not enough. It's not enough where they don't believe that they can sell a fight between two good fighters without them attaching some type of championship to it. So that's what the WBC is catching on. But if this was a situation where they actually had to earn money from fans, then they would be forced to give the fans what they want to see. Because we know that going in ahead of time that a fight between Canelo Alvarez and Sergey Kovalev isn't going to do good money. But they don't care because they just want to get the fan. They want to get the fans that they want to get. They want to attract the market demographic that they want to attract, and they're going to spend all the money they can to try to get those guys in. Fake it till they make it, whatever they got to do. And while they're faking it till they're making it, they're tearing down the sport. They're isolating themselves from hardcore boxing fans, the ones that really do drive the sport of boxing.
Kurt Anderson Sugar, man, what do you think about this, man? About the WBC? Decision to allow Combuterol to increase the threshold and all of that shit. And anything you got to say about the WBC? And Deontay Wilder rejecting the idea of being a franchise champ. Whatever you got to say right now.
Well, that's why I'm a Deontay Wilder fan. I wasn't a fan of his at the beginning, but when a fighter has integrity, fighting the best fights, rejecting, BS like the franchise belt, he don't want it, because it's just not right. When you don't win a belt in the ring and you award a belt to a fighter for what? Because of its politics, his BS politics. He rejected it, and rightfully so, because he knows it's BS. He's just the stand-up kind of guy, man. That's first. That's why I'm such a fan of his in the ring and out the ring. He embodies what a heavyweight champion should be, in my book, so, that's why I'm a fan of his. And WBC, we touched on it before. Fanon said it all, man. He broke down, why they favor Canelo Alvarez, because at the end of the day, it's about money. He's a cash cow. It's more about business than anything. And when you see these guys, on the zone, and, I don't want to go too far left, like Haney and Billy Joe Saunders fighting on the undercard of BS YouTubers, I'm just, segue into it and how the WBC is. And, it's just a whole lot of BS in boxing, man, franchise belts. And I'm going to tell you, Lomachenko and Canelo, I like them, but they make me, it's the media and, them, as well, because they could have rejected the franchise belt, but they didn't want to, and it looks like he's ducking Charlo and Andrade, and I'm not sure they can beat Canelo, because it's different on a big stage, but it's just the way he's going about things, it's just with the money, the zone, how they got money tied up into him. He's like an investment. So if he loses or get popped with something, they're gonna try their best to protect him. And same with Lomachenko is a little different because they want a guy. He's the perfect guy, so they can boost him up there. His style. Oh, he's a slick fighter. He's Eastern European. So they have an agenda with him. They want him to be an all-time great. They want to compare him to our all-time greats. So those two guys who are non-black fighters are going to be protected for a reason. So it's just the, BS. But Fanon, said it, he broke it down correctly, about the money, the sanctioning fees, and because this guy only did 10,000 against Kovalev, man, I was shocked, that he only did 10,000, man. So they trying to make him a bigger star than what he really is, man. And he didn't. It kind of surprised me that he accepted the franchise belt because I could see he's a fighter, man, but he didn't have to do that. Unlike they're not like Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder said no, I would not accept the franchise belt. I don't want to see no American fighter accept the franchise belt. They didn't offer it to Gary Russell or Earl Spence. I wish if they did, I wish they had turned it down, man, because it's BS.
Okay, let me ask you something real quick, Kurt. I heard some UK rejects over there making a positive into a negative. They're saying stuff like, well, Deontay Wilder, he's behaving like a franchise champion anyways. And they're saying stupid shit like, that he's lying about rejecting the franchise championship and that he's freezing out Dillian White anyways until 2021. Dillian White actually has a fan base. I know it's only like 5 or 6 guys, but Dillian White has a fan base. What do you say to the Dillian White fan base who thinks Wilder is bullshit with his franchise belt, even though they had all kinds of demands for Wilder to fight AJ? What do you say to them?
Wilder been champion since 2015. He's taken on the toughest challengers. How the hell did he ducking Dillian White, man? Dillian White messed his own self up. When we get, when he take care of Ortiz, I want Wilder to fight Dillian White for once and for all so he can knock him out and shut him up, man. Joshua, we didn't get the Joshua fight because he lost to Ruiz. There's just a remote possibility, but I respect Ortiz. Get him out the way in a couple of weeks, man, and go for please fight Dillian White, man. I'm tired of this dude. I'm tired of his fan base saying Wilder's ducking him, man. Come on, please give me a break. Wilder's knocking him out in 4 or 5 rounds, man.
Trap House Boxing, man. You there, bro?
Yes, I'm here, man.
Man, what you think about Deontay Wilder turning down the idea of being a franchise champion and the fact that these Deontay Wilder haters, the 5 that's left, are still going around trying to run his name down because he turned down the status? I mean, what the fuck was he supposed to say? He didn't make the franchise belt. That's what these motherfuckers don't understand. What you got to say about it, my brother?
Well, that goes back to what I said earlier about people got to turn their back on the WBC, but a lot of people don't know that Deontay Wilder being refused because the question was brought up on the Boxing Boys about 2 months ago about the franchise belt when people first heard about it, when they was finna do it. And Deontay, he automatically dismissed it. He said he didn't want the fans getting confused. So he been dismissed that WBC franchise belt. Now, as far as the WBC, Fanon hit it on the head, man. But he said it in the more of a eloquent way than I was gonna break it down. But I'm gonna tell you what I was gonna say now. What really, I don't know if he talked about the Lomachenko part that much, but what really boggled me is I didn't understand really Bob Arum's whole aim with Lomachenko. Why is he protecting him? Because he's really not no drought like that. I could understand from maybe a fighting point of view, but Lomachenko ain't gonna get no bigger. I mean, I kind of feel like he rolled the dice on Lomachenko. You know what I mean? And then salute to Terrence Crawford. I don't know if he got the the offer, but he said he wasn't taking the franchise belt either. But the whole, what's that?
No, go ahead, bro. I didn't say nothing.
Yeah, no, but the whole thing with Bob M, I didn't understand that point. But as far as like Canelo and all them, I felt like that's another reason why they put Canelo on that app, because if Canelo would have took one of these major network deals, he would have had to fight some of these guys that everybody want to see him fight, and the pressure would have really been on because the demand would have been so high. You know what I mean? And I think that's the reason why Oscar and them did that with Canelo. But I'm gonna go just a little deeper. I don't know, maybe a lot of y'all may agree, some may disagree, but I think it's still, to me, this is what I was gonna make a video about this. I think that the WBC is playing both sides to try to keep Oscar and Bob Arum, you know, in some type of power. You understand what I'm saying? Because see, the whole shift with the Al Heyman and all that, it goes back to me. I think it goes back from the lawsuit, all that, because of the power, the ties is shifting so strong on that side to where if these guys, like if they would have took that, like if Canelo would have got on those major networks and all that, Oscar and them would have been, they probably would have been on their way out the game by now. Bob too. If Bob wouldn't have took that little franchise deal with Lomachenko, forcing him to fight these guys, I mean the walls was closing in slowly but surely. That's basically what I'm saying. So
okay, man, KQKC, give your take on this whole thing with Deontay Wilder turning down the franchise belt. I'm gonna give mine, and then we're gonna do some closing. Okay,
hey,
go ahead. I'm gonna get some super chats. Go ahead.
Blood, can I jump in for 2 seconds?
Yes, sir. You sure can.
All right, man. I'm not going to get into this because this is definitely not a YouTube type of conversation. But the thing with the Lomachenko, I'll say this. With Lomachenko, I think you should pay more attention to world politics and money laundering than you should necessarily
okay,
money.
I got you.
There you go.
Okay, KQKC, give us your take on Deontay Wilder, a champion, man. He's under fire now for turning down the franchise belt from, like 5 or 6 guys who, I don't know. I mean, because he went over to England, he's a superstar over there. Yet this guy Dillian White, nobody knows him in Alabama, nowhere. Okay, so give me your take on this whole thing, brother.
Well, first of all, he did the right thing. Okay, now the WBC, okay, they are loving money. That's all they want. Matter of fact, they don't even want they fighters that hold the WBC to unify because they don't want to share the wealth. In other words, and the franchise belt offered, if they offer it to Deontay Wilder or would have or whatever, they're just trying to make the playing field a little bit even, but we know it's odd. And Deontay Wilder did the right thing. Because it's not fair to other fighters. Other fighters that's coming up, they don't want to see that. They work too hard. Then once you get up to that mandatory spot, they say, wait a minute. He have to choose you because that's the rule, they say. The franchise fighter have to choose you. You don't choose him. That's the obligation he gets. And win or lose, he still gets that belt. So, like I said, I made an example one time in my live stream about when a guy get to work hard as ever, then he moves up to the top 20. He moves up to the top 10. He moves up to the top 5. The next thing you know, hey, I'm a mandatory now. So I have a chance, mom and dad, to be champion. Oh, no, you don't, the WBC says. Why? Because the franchise fighter got to choose you. The franchise fighter belt is nothing but an honorary belt. That's all it is. And most of the guys that have got it haven't been in the game that long and haven't fought at their weight class. And they haven't fought real fights. See, Deontay Wilder did the right thing. See, sometimes you got to earn your keep. See, you got to fight like a champion. You got to talk like a champion. You got to walk like a champion. And you do not take shit if you ain't no champion. You don't take a belt and you haven't earned it. Sure, you take it if you earned it, because ain't nobody fought Ortiz but Deontay Wilder. I know of. Everybody else ran. Ain't that right, Anthony Joshua? So Dylan White, yeah, He need the ass spanked because Dillian White is nowhere near like Deontay Wilder. So Deontay Wilder did the right thing. So if anybody else, look, fuck them. I'm sorry, but hey, it is what it is. Deontay Wilder want to earn his way. He don't want to sit there and cherry pick. He's fighting and doing other things that other fighters haven't done. Now, that reminds me of somebody, Muhammad Ali, maybe. Huh? He's a people's champ. That's what he is. He's a people's champ that just say, hey, look, I'm not scared to fight. Muhammad Ali could have been retired on top. But he retired at what? 39, I believe. Yeah, 39. He still was a young man. Deontay Wilder said he don't want to go past 40. So he's doing and making moves that other fighters can't do. And that's what it is. Why? Because they don't have the brain. They don't have the know-how. That's why. So that's all I got to say. I know we for time, so that's all I have.
Okay, I'm gonna say one more thing, then we're gonna wrap up, man. First of all, let me give a shout out to Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. My brother, man. Salute to the boxing historians. Yes, bro. Salute to you too, bro. Y'all subscribe to Mahari Nation, man. That's our brother in the LDBC. Okay, let me talk about this shit about Deontay Wilder one more time because I get pissed off about it, man. I can't believe that people are still hating on this guy. I can't believe that there's people out there who actually dislike Deontay Wilder that are fight fans. It shows me that they have something personal going on. Maybe it's just that time of the month for them. Their pussies bleed day by day, but across the pond, you have a collection of fangirls. These groupies are fangirls they're fangirls of a drug cheat named Dillian White. They don't really understand the sport of boxing, some of them. Some of them pretend not to understand at times. They refuse to use their vaginal douche kits, okay? Dillian White is a drug cheat, point blank period, okay? He's a fucking drug cheat. And you understand that, bitch? He's a fucking drug cheat, okay? Why don't you social media groupies ask the WBC why your boy Dillian White was removed from the mandatory spot for having PEDs in the system and Canelo Alvarez was forgiven and rewarded a franchise belt, huh, dumbass? Because you didn't care nothing about the sanctioning bodies before. I listened to a bunch of you stupid motherfuckers, and you never cared about it because you're a bunch of dummies, okay? Whether you've been watching boxing 20, 30 years or not, you're still dumb. You proved it time and time again. I still don't understand what Wilder has to do with the WBC's choice of mandatories. What the fuck? You're a dumbass. Why are you bringing that up? You dumb fucks, huh? These bum-ass fakes across the pond will still find a way to make a positive into a negative when it comes to Wilder. He signed to fight Fury because Fury is the most popular fighter Great Britain has to offer other than Anthony Joshua. And at this time, he's more popular than Anthony Joshua over here, okay? Deontay Wilder didn't want to have nothing to do with WWE and all of that shit, okay? He could have did that if he wanted to. Dillian White had several opportunities to fight the champ too, okay? To tell you how extreme these busters are, this small percentage of fight fans wanted Deontay Wilder to dance to Anthony Joshua's tune to the extent that he signed a deal with an app everyone knew was going to fail over here in America. That to that extent, that's what they held him to. Yet Dillian White couldn't meet one simple demand to fight a guy that he said was an old man. Does that make sense to you? All right. The demand on Deontay Wilder was extremely high for him to go over to the Zone app. And all he asked Dillian White to do was to fight King Kong Ortiz. How easy was that, huh? But he couldn't do that. Wilder asked this man to fight one fighter, and that was too much. Yet the Dart Chuckers wanted Wilder to sign his life away, okay? Them guys overseas, they're mighty strange to me, bro. What they asking Wilder to do was a much bigger demand. Dominic Brazil also offered to fight. Remember, Dominic Brazil offered to fight Dillian White. White turned that down. All right, how many times do we got to tell y'all? Y'all never address, y'all dance around this shit all the time. Those guys in England never liked Wilder. Now Wilder is being mobbed by crowds over there. He went to Dillian White's backyard and received red carpet treatment. It's all over YouTube. We saw it. Send White out to Alabama and see if one person even notices who he is. All right? This is all I got to say about this shit, man. Nobody gives a fuck about the British border control, nor you can. This is America, baby. And fuck the B sample. Wilder will fight him when the fuck he wants, okay? If you don't fight him, that's too bad. I don't give a fuck, really. All right. So we're gonna end it like that, man. We didn't really get a chance to get through the whole agenda today, but I wanted to start with Trap House Boxing, man. Tell us where we can find you, man, and give us your last words. Trap House Boxing, you there?
He on mute.
Okay, KQKC, give us your last words, bro. Let's close this bad boy out.
Yes, sir. KQKC Boxing Channel. You can find me on that Monday through Friday, 12:30 p.m. Central Time. I come on right after Fanon International Boxing. And also, never forget, OG Boxing. You also can find me right here, 8 a.m. Central Time. That's it.
Okay. Let's go with the historian himself, Kurt Anderson Sugar.
Yes, indeed. Great show, fellas. Once again, my name is Curtis Anderson, a.k.a. Kurt Sugar. You can find me on Blue Blood Live TV Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Fanon Boxing, OG Boxing Talk, Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, sir, man. So y'all make sure y'all support Kurt Anderson Sugar too, man. Support all these brothers on the panel. Trap House, you back yet, bro? You still stuck out there in them damn Sanford woods? Trap House, you can't get no signal out in them woods, man. In them boondocks, I see them off you.
Tighten up, man. I'm here, man. It's good, man.
Bro.
I can follow me on Instagram, Trap House Boxing, on Twitter, at Trap House Boxing, YouTube, Trap House Boxing. And I want to say one thing before I close out, man. Y'all don't get too caught up on what being Fanon, our little BS. So we're gonna disagree, and we're gonna still be here. It's just all friendly, just make fun for good boxing talk. That's all, man. It ain't no disrespect, man. And Fanon know that. I was just messing with him, but he do be poking though. I'm gonna say it in the more of a diplomatic manner. He do.
No, don't pull no punches.
No.
I don't need no Kovalev shit. I don't need that Kovalev shit. I'm fine.
All right, then. Well, I'm going straight down to.
Hard.
Cool. He hating then. Hell, I'm getting to a hook about it. He hating.
You know he hating. You know he been drinking that heyday.
No, but
much
love to everybody though, man. That showed up and loaned their ear to us. The OG Boxing Talk, and y'all tune in to us next Sunday, man. So we can discuss some more boxing. So we got a lot of boxing to talk about. We still didn't cover up everything, but we'll carry over next week.
Okay. Fanon, I'm gonna let you finish out the show. I'm gonna let everyone know where to find me because you have control of when you turn it off. So y'all find me at two places. You can find me at Retro Boxing and Documentaries. I do have some more documentaries coming out. My subscriber base is beginning to grow over there. It always is. And then I'm being hidden on the boxing spreadsheet. So y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to the boxing spreadsheet because for some reason I'm not showing up on no search engines or nothing like that. So y'all can hear me talk about modern day boxing over there. And shout out to the LDBC. One love to everybody.
Hey, hold up before we leave. Hey, come on, man. I need to get a hold to you behind the scenes, man, about some of that history talk he was talking the other day, so we can talk about that on the one-on-one level.
Yeah, Blood. Hey, Blood. Just give him my phone number. Give Trap my phone number.
I'll pass Trap. I'll pass him your phone number, my brother.
All right, bet that up.
Okay, Fanon, I'm done, bro. Thank you all very much.
All right, man. Well, first, thanks. My closing words of this, because I think this is right along with Trap. First of all, that's why I love Trap on the channel. And he shouldn't change that at all. Not at all. I like it. It's fun. And you hold people responsible, man. If I'm hating, I'm hating. But I'm going to tell you what I do hate on. And one of the reasons why you hear me go like that on these videos, because I think that most of this stuff, like the common theme for me, when I look at the world of boxing, and I see things going on like the way that Deontay Wilder is not represented correctly, or to his full potential, or Terrence Crawford doesn't get the credit that he deserves, or where you see this fighter getting a lot of credit when he ain't done as much as the other fighter, right? A lot of this stuff is related to boxing journalists, because in boxing journalists are not true journalists. They're marketing departments for promoters and networks. Dougie Fisher works for, and I'm not even going to insult anybody. I'm telling you the facts. Mark Kragle works for ESPN. Chris Mannix works for DAZN. That's who pays his checks. Steve Kim works for ESPN. Dan Rayfield works for ESPN. Their paychecks come from the people that are selling fighters, and that's why they get the attention that they get. So one of the things that I can do well, that I know I can do as well as any of them writers, I can write as well as them, without a doubt. And I'm telling you flat, I don't want to be a journalist, and I don't want to write those articles because I just got other shit to do. But if I wanted to do that, I would knife them motherfuckers every fucking day. Because the one thing I can't stand is some arrogant, pseudo-intellectual motherfucker taking money and respect out of the pockets of black people. And that's what they're doing. And they know that's what they're doing, because if they didn't do it, they would find somebody else to do it for them. So if I have to go in a little extra hard on Inouye, I'll do it, because they go extra hard in ignoring fighters like Terrence Crawford. There's no way in this world that any reasonable boxing fan thinks that Terrence Crawford should be behind Monster Inouye on a pound-for-pound list. And if I got to grab Monster Inouye by the proverbial neck and throw his ass up underneath some water till he drown, I'm going to grab his ass by the bottom of the neck, metaphorically, and stick his head under fucking water and let everybody fucking see it. Because what they're doing to these other people, if you want to fight, if you ain't fair, you ain't fighting fair, I ain't fighting fair either. And my voice, 78 Sports TV's voice, Black Fight Fan TV's voice, Bloods Boxing's voice, Blue Bloods Boxing voice, Curtis Anderson's boxing voice, Trap House boxing voice are all heard every day as much or more than these articles are read. I know every 2 days there's 40,000 views. Every other day, every 48 hours, there's over 40,000 views on my page. On 78 Sports TV, and I don't look at his numbers, there are probably, in just 5 channels in the LDBC, over 100,000 views every day on our videos. And if you are going to mistreat a guy like Deontay Wilder, who's been defending his belt for 5 years, got 40 knockouts, is doing nothing but providing fighting the best fighters he can get his hands on. If you can go out of your way to disrespect him, then I can go out of my way to run Monster Inouye's ass up underneath a fucking bridge and point out that he sticks his chin up and he got his ass beat up.
We're going to smoke them out of there, Fanon. We're going to smoke those riders out of there. We already made them irrelevant on YouTube. It's time for us to get rid of these guys, bro. I mean, they don't have any relevance whatsoever. They've tried to come over to our domain and talk boxing, okay? I started out 10 years ago knocking at their doors, okay? Those guys know who I am, man. I didn't want to be part of that world, okay? You can see why. I mean, look at these lanes. Who wants to hang out at the barbershop and at the barbecue with them, all right? Go over to Instagram, go over to Facebook, and take them out. Nobody cares about them. Nobody wants to hear some fat Chinese guy and some guy with a ponytail talk about Monster Inouye being better than Terrence Crawford. Until they respect all fighters, we'll level their fighters down. They better get it together, okay? Because I could write too.
Hey, Fanon, do Radio Raheem works for DAZN now? Radio Raheem works for.
They're all, look, man. I don't want to get into it because I want 78 to come on.
Oh, okay.
And I can explain. I can lay all that shit out to you, behind the scenes.
Okay.
But just suffice it to say, as far as Trap House goes, Trap House needs to, and I want to heavily encourage Trap House to do that with me, because that's fair. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
I got something to say real quick. Before we go off real quick, 78's coming on. Let me. I just want to say this. This been on my mind. there's certain channels, European channels that want to come after the LDBC, criticizing the show, So I tell them, I say, you talk about Fanon Blood, how they want to debate. I say, listen, you come at my brothers, I'm gonna come at you. No, who is this? Kurt Sugar? No, I don't got nothing against you. I'm like, well, you got something against them, you got something against me. They don't want no smoke with me. I'm part of the LDBC, and they want to go back to 1903 and 1904, and that's what they're trying to do with that European pompous attitude. And I'm telling you now, and I know you're listening, I would challenge everybody on them European boxing channels, and I will blow your doors off. You don't know what I know. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. That's right. Y'all heard it from Kurt himself.
All right. So with that, make sure you guys go to 78 Sports TV, who is coming on next. Definitely show. I forgot a couple super chats though, so we don't want to try to rob nobody. We definitely appreciate your support. And by the way, we are taking up a collection plate for 78 for blood boxing, because although he has a full-time job and is taking care of his business, the nigga cannot buy a new mic to save his fucking life.
Because my voice is so powerful anyway.
Hold
I don't, and my voice is still louder than yours.
Blood boxing does not get a collection plate for the simple fact he just announced on air that he ate the Popeye's chicken sandwich. So he's related to Tim Bradley in his hole.
Yeah, you can't get the money to Popeyes. Spend your mic money on Popeyes. All right, but look, man, we got to get out of here. Last couple super chats are Mahari Nation's Boxing Sports Podcast. Salute to you, boxing historians. Let me hit refresh. I'm sorry, because I do not want to rob anybody of what they did. Okay, cool. And Taj Wright, much love in that super chat. Jay Cooley said, boycott the franchise title holders, freeze them out, don't fight them. And I think that's all for the super chats, man. Much love to everybody. Trap, you got my number. We'll holler this week. And with that, we're out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.